Welcome to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Touchdown, Braylon Edwards. Braylon Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Running pattern to Edwards, touchdown, Michigan.
Where we bring you the best in sports, entertainment, and insight. Join us every weekday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we break down the latest games, analyze the biggest plays, and dive into the hottest topics in sports. We'll have exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes and guests, and you'll get a front row seat to all the action. So tune in to the Braylon Edwards Show with Shep.
Got one-on-one going end zone. Edwards in the air. Oh, what a catch by Braylon Edwards. His second touchdown of the game.
On the Woodward Sports Network, where sports comes to life.
What up, though? Happy Wednesday, Detroit. Welcome into the Braylon Edwards Show. Braylon is, he's hobnobbing with Jahmyr Gibbs today. And he didn't invite me. He didn't invite you either.
You didn't get that invite?
No, we're joined by Kool-Aid today, but B-Lad got to go.
Shout out to B-Lad, fresh into Woodward
I
Sports
know.
and boots on the ground for the network.
Hopping us on the ladder, man.
Goodness gracious. You know, let's shout out, man. Maybe when he gets to that level, he'll bring us along one day. Maybe he'll give us that invite.
We're in line at least. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they're crushing it.
we're going to have some amazing content for you guys. They're down at, what is it, MCUCU or something? UMCU. Thank you.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Sweet Potato Cam in the building. How you doing, my friend?
SBC.
Ready for Game 5. Back in the D. LFG, y'all.
Let's go.
Feeling good about tonight?
I am feeling good. These boys need some home cooking. Hopefully they got some loving also while they're at home. And they're ready.
Well, we're ready to talk Pistons, and we have plenty on tap for you. But Kool-Aid,
Yes, sir.
I'm very excited to welcome somebody home.
Hey, you know what, man? Family is family. And when you haven't seen them in a while, when you haven't really got to do the content that you love to do with them in a while, it's epic when they're back in the building. That dude, Justin Satawa, what up,
South
bro?
African
Straight
Satawa.
up, internationally known.
What's good,
Internationally
baby?
known.
It's great to
What
be
up,
home.
though?
I'm with the sports family, no doubt about it. I'm ready to go 2.0. We're
That's
riding.
that energy.
This new studio is absolutely insane. It is an absolute blessing to be here, just like Kool-Aid said. And man, smiles from ear to ear in between me and Kool-Aid. I don't think there's anyone in Detroit without bigger smiles, except maybe what we're going to tell you in 10 minutes.
Hey, look, that's why I'm laughing.
Big
though.
news coming.
That's why I'm laughing, because when he did walk in yesterday, I forgot that he had been gone. He hadn't been in all of this that we've been able to experience. And his face, like the smile was plastered on, like he was a victim of the Joker, man, but in a good way. And just to see the smile, see the enthusiasm, that's what all of us have been feeling in this Woodward 2.0.
Summer camp.
And I'm glad that Justin is in the trenches with us now to experience that, as are some others.
Oh, yeah, and we'll fill you in on that. We've got some breaking Woodward sports news that we will tell you right around 2:15. But, you know, you say that you kind of forgot that he hadn't been here as we moved in. I didn't. You know why? Because he called me every day from South Africa.
Shout out.
And I'm like, bro, enjoy your vacation. I can't wait to get back, man. I feel like I'm missing out on so much. I also got a call at about midnight South African time. Justin doesn't really remember that call, though. I'll be honest, we cover a lot of fun things, but man, tell us about your trip, South African Satawa. Give us the highlights. If you got some photos, put them up on the screen for us. We want to hear all about your trip. Real quick, though, you will be at the game tonight, correct? Kool-Aid?
Yeah, definitely. We'll be in the building. Can't wait. I'll be tapping in with the boys who have been putting up fantastic watch parties during the playoffs.
You guys have big
for
numbers.
home and away games. And I love being able to tap in just to be able to give a little bit of what's going on at the arena, the energy, the buzz, and what the fans are saying as well. So I'll try and get down there early enough as well to get some pregame content, which has been fun. I'll try and get some of it up. I know that dude Justin and Travis. Then we got the post game live from LCA right after the watch party. So it's Pistons, and more Pistons, and hopefully it's a Pistons win.
And you guys know we go till 4, then you'll be with the heavies from 5 till 7, and then, of course, that watch party afterwards. It is an 8 o'clock tip tonight. Yeah. So join us. Make sure you're here for the watch party. Oh, I need you to smash the like button right now. Like right now.
Smash it.
Smash it. And then, it's not up here, but that Ndamukong Suh jersey we're giving away at the end of the week. I've been tallying up the wheel. They're adding up right now. If you want to get your spot on the wheel, all you got to do is super chat. Of course, we'll read it. And if you $10 super chat, you're going to get an extra spot on that wheel. You're also going to get the clutch hat from our neighbors that fed us well yesterday. Shout out to Johnny Mustards down here in Royal Oak. South African Satawa, fill us in on your trip, my friend.
All right, well, I'm going to keep it brief because there's a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I don't feel like this deserves as much airtime as it's getting. However, I'm going to just take you through a quick brief thing. Went to Port Elizabeth, had some of the best surfing water that you can have, and then went on a couple of safaris.
Wait.
Animals.
You can surf?
Yeah, I can surf.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So here's the kid with his surfboard, getting active.
Let's see it.
Then here's me swimming in ocean tide pools with my dad.
Look at that.
Shout out to Papa Sats.
Damn.
And then here we go with
That looks like Hawaii.
me and a giraffe.
Nice.
And then this is how close that we got to some elephants. They were right in front of
Look
us.
at that.
And then the same with some zebras. So just an overall epic trip. I mean, you don't get an opportunity to go travel that long. I mean, it's the longest flight Delta has from Atlanta to Johannesburg. It is a absolute brutal flight. If you are for long drives, I don't recommend a long flight. It's even harder, and it was a lot to go through, but it was so much worth it. So worth it for the time that I had. It was absolutely epic. So thank you to my dad and my mom for being able to take me on a trip like this for both of their 60th birthdays and for my graduation. So absolutely amazing. But I was chomping at the bit to get back for a reason because I love what I do and I miss the boys. So it's a pleasure to be back with everyone in the chat and then you boys up here.
Life Gambler says South Africa's got baddies. Can you?
I can confirm.
You can
No,
confirm.
put the camera back in your face. We got to see his.
I can confirm.
Baddies.
But I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking though.
Shout out Mads. Shout out Mads. First super chat. I bet you can guess who it came from. The Like Police. Shout out Michael Wary. Anson,
Wary.
I give you your right. 7-game series. We win 4-3. Hey guys, I told everybody before the Orlando series, it will take 21 games to win 12. And listen, it's not really disrespect to the Pistons, but they are still one guy away, maybe even two, from being that team where you're looking back at the going to work bad boy or going to work Pistons, and you're like, this is going to be 5 games. And confidently, you knew it would be.
But even back then, even leading up to the championship aspect of who they were and even the next series, I remember in 05 I was a lot more confident, obviously because they were coming off the championship. But I continue to take people back to, if you remember that time, go back to it. Go back to that feeling because it wasn't all peaches and sunshine and roses. It wasn't that. We had to sweat through some series. Bro, the reason why the Indiana Pacers series is as big as it is because the Pistons went down. We had to sweat through that one. With Rasheed Wallace saying, we will win. And it's like, all I remember is this. In the playoffs, things change. And at that point in time, quickly, rotations get tighter. The whistle gets wonky. It's not just that the calls start to go down, it's that they get wonky. If you look at the last 2 games, you're talking about a historic level disparity in between the foul calls for the Cavs and the Pistons. But if you go right back.
You mean that guy?
That guy right there. But if you go back to that team, you remember the Pistons had to trudge through the same old BS, through the same type of players who got the same type of star treatment. And so I do tell people, I don't take this away from them. We will be up and down as observers, as media, as fans. That's what we do. There's emotion in all of it. But to understand what you're looking at right now with this squad that I do believe is on a good path to winning this series right now. And I do have to say this. There was a point in time when I was like, 7 games? Could have really go 7? I was saying 6. So I guess 7 isn't that crazy. But right now, 7 really is not that crazy.
No, it's a 3-game series.
It looks appropriate. But isn't that, I feel like series is back in the day used to be like that. Strap in and expect these things to be battles. They're not easy. And I think that's what made 04 so satisfying and 05 so disappointing. Though we said, man, look at our team. They took it all the way down to the last game of the finals. It hurt. Why? Because you understood how much it took to actually get to that point. And when we're in this Cavs series, even though all the numbers and all the stats could say one thing, when you get into these series, they always become a battle that tells a completely different narrative and story. And the Pistons have run into that, and I'm wondering if fans are catching up to that. Obviously, the only thing that allows us to accept the ups and the downs is the Pistons actually playing to expectations, because no matter what the playoffs are, the Pistons are the number 1 seed in the East. The Pistons won 60 games. The Pistons were talking about championship, that C word, since the beginning of the year. And so right now the expectation is for them to go out there no matter what the game plan is, no matter what the adjustments are, and lay the wood. Let's just say it like that, lay the wood, man. Shout out Woodward Sports. And that's what I expect out of our Detroit Pistons tonight as they continue on this track, even if it goes to 7 games, because they needed they needed the full series against Orlando this year, just like they needed the full series against Orlando once a long time ago.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. I hope we can repeat that. Listen, guys, he's talking expectations. And here at Woodward, we have set some lofty expectations for us as a network for what we want to provide you. And we have doubled down on those expectations since we have moved to this new studio, since we have been calling ourselves Woodward 2.0. And today we are announcing some very, very big moves, guys. First and foremost, the morning show will now be Big D Energy. From 8 to 10, you'll be starting your mornings off with Neil Rule and his co-host, Michigan legend, Michigan broadcasting legend, our very own Sean Baligian.
Hey, bam, 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 bam.
No doubt.
Come on, wait. Hold on. These are some of the most dynamic characters we got on Woodward Sports. In media, period.
Horses. Absolute.
Oh, my word.
Prize ponies, man.
You
These
remember
two guys.
You remember the Lions pregame shows they were doing? Oh, my gosh. This is dynamite.
It's going to be absolutely electric.
Let's
That's
go.
how we're starting the day off, guys. So get your
Let's
coffee,
go.
wake up. That starts on Monday.
Let's
So
go, man.
I know the question on your mind. What are you guys doing from 11 to 1? What's happening during the BDE slot if BDE is from 8 to 10? From 11 until 1, I could tell you, Justin, maybe we should just show them instead.
The best, the most passionate content to the city of Detroit.
Hey, from fashion beers, drinking Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid, Lions wins and some tough Lions losses.
To some of the biggest, the most viral moments over the last 3 years.
From Pistons playoff basketball to Tigers opening day, and even hosting the NFL draft right here in the city of Detroit.
And we lived it all with you, the fans, the people, the loyal supporters.
Over the last 3 years, it's been much more than a journey for the boys. It's been an absolute dream building Crunch Time Sports.
And along the way, we've gained plenty of fans, plenty of haters, but the haters won't stop the vision.
Everything we've been through at Crunch Time, every single setback and every single risk that we've taken
has led us right back here to this very moment.
Because now it's time for something bigger with us. It's time for us to grow.
To go back to where it all started, back to our roots.
It's time to bring Crunch Time Sports back home, back to the place that helped us shape the journey that we started.
It's time to take Crunch Time Sports to another level.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Crunch Time Sports is officially returning
to the Woodward Sports Network. We're back, baby.
Guys, there it is.
Let's go. I'm fired up.
Some of your favorites are coming back, guys. Freddie Felt in the chat is fired up. Holy fucking shit, let's fucking go.
LFG.
Jaco Craig, Neil first thing when I get
Boom,
to work.
squad.
Good Lord, laugh out loud. Just kidding. He's loving it. Jeff and Boone are coming back, says
Let's rock.
A-Diz. Listen, A-Diz, there's a lot of questions about Maz and about our guy Darren and about Terry Foster. These are our ambassadors, guys. They're not going anywhere, all right?
Yep.
You're going to see them all over the place. You're going to see them on different shows. They're going to be in the trenches at the games, networking with the biggest people in not only Michigan and Detroit sports, but national, hell, maybe even international sports. Those guys are going to be out there getting the best interviews for us so that we only get better for you guys. Again, we're talking expectations. We've set them high. We've now doubled them with 2.0, and we're going to start delivering. starting on Monday. So once again, your lineup Monday morning and then thereafter, 8 to 10, BDE. Sean Baligian is now with the Golden Voice, Neil Rule. Then, of course, the Crunch Time Boys. And they'll be inviting their guy, Caleb, back. But don't worry, KG will still be with them. Caleb, my man. So those guys from Crunch Time will be handling 11 to 1. And then, of course, we'll be back with you for Braylon from 2 to 4. And then you finish your days out with the most organic sports talk show in the world, the Heavyweights. Flat out, guys.
Hey,
so
talk
shout
about
out.
homegrown.
If you want to give some love, doing a super chat. Otherwise, I'll look for the other ones in the chat. We'll read them as we're going. I do got to get back to something because they had a pretty amazing show this morning on BDE. In fact, Shelby brought her father in, and her father is a Randy. So Rando Smalls, sorry guys, kind of pissy. Big D had a show about Randy's, and to be honest, I feel disrespected. But Rando, you can't feel disrespected because we need you to come into the studio and come pick up your signed Cade autograph, which you won last week. Guys,
Let's
keep
go.
those super chats coming in. Smash that like button. We've got that Dominican Sue jersey we're going to be giving out at the end of the week. Rando Smalls did tap in with a super chat as well. No Pistons need to use the whole roster. Our game. Man, listen, use that roster. We're going to talk plenty about that. Let's go into it right now. We got some fun stuff about a team that might make the move. We'll save that for the last half hour. Let's talk Pistons.
I was gonna say real quick, you know what? Maybe this is a good thing too. Just talking about some of the improvements and updates. I guess I won't say improvements, updates. I think growth is always important for the network, and that's where we're at right now. Shout out to what's going on and the fact that this network has a vision to get to the next level, and obviously bring the Crunch Time guys back. I see it's firing up people in the chat, and you talk about Pistons. A lot of people know, when we started the Woodward Pistons stuff a long time ago, and Rod Beard took a chance on, a more spry Kool-Aid. There was a young Jeff Iafredi, who we wound up dubbing Hollywood, who joined us about a year later.
He's a handsome man.
And helped us take that platform to the next level. And it was awesome walking in the media rooms with him and hearing other media and hearing Pistons PR and such say, there go the Woodward boys. And now, and that was small then. But you look at what's going on now in the Spinnies and everybody else who's going all over, and you see the impact that Woodward has been able to have, to the point that you see even guys like our Freddie Felts, among others, saying, hey, can we be boots on the ground for you guys? That's what this is about. Like Darren says, it's about the people. You know what? We represent you guys out there, and I'm glad to have Crunch Time, Jeff, Booner, Caleb back in this thing, man. It's epic, and that new morning show is going to be electric. That's the only place to be in the mornings, straight up.
Yeah, Jaco Craig says, I fucking love this network. Detroit Dabber, oh boy. Michigan fans going to love the 8 to 10 show. Neil and Sean laughed my ass off.
Oh, no.
Bro, I should move to the morning show, man. Be with my family over there.
Go blue.
I'm outnumbered in this shit over
Hey,
here.
I still love you, man. Hey,
I
listen,
love you, too.
You look good in blue.
Hey, it's a good color. You know what? and Braylon looks great in green.
He does.
It is what it is.
Sure does.
I see him more in blue, and I see
It's what it
Braylon more
is.
in green.
Oh,
Gosh.
man. Freddie Felt, I'm just going to agree with that one, and I'll leave it like that. Shout out Freddie Felt.
Shout out
there.
Freddie Felt, man.
Oh, you know what? Let's have a little more fun. We're going to go right into Pistons.
Shout out Freddie Felt, okay?
Yeah, you read it too. Shout out Freddie Felt. I'm going to leave that one just to marinate in the chat there. Some interesting stuff out of Portland.
Portland?
Portland,
Tell me about it. I saw
there's
some
a lot to
things.
say about that city. There's been a lot of businesses leaving that
Talk about that
city.
documentary? You talk about that.
No, I'm talking about the Trailblazers, gentlemen. I believe that we've got that in Slack. Justin, if you can find that, I will go ahead and start reading it while he gets it up there. New Blazers owner Tom Dundon is reportedly ruthless, in quotation marks, and will not hesitate to move the franchise to Nashville, Austin, or
Okay.
what would you think the third city would be? What would you guess?
It's an unbelievable.
What do you guess?
Maybe like an older NBA team site.
Seattle. It's not far from Portland. What would you think?
We could use a Supersonics 2.0.
Is that Seattle? Is that your guess?
I would say so. Yes.
It's Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo, California? Kalamazoo, Texas?
Shut the front door.
Kalamazoo what? Michigan?
Will not hesitate to move the franchise to Nashville, Austin, or Kalamazoo if Portland politicians to continue to treat the relocation threat as a hollow bluff.
If Chauncey's cleared, would they bring him back as coach?
Bro, get free Chauncey.
Free Chauncey.
Free Ivy.
Free Ivy. Bring him back. You know what? Bring them back.
Chauncey,
bring them to the
Ivy?
Trailblazers. Right to the Trailblazers. Kalamazoo Trailblazers.
That's an interesting coaching staff.
That would be epic. Can we get a credential for that?
Well, now my question is this. Are you going to switch allegiances to the Kalamazoo Blazers?
Never.
No?
Never.
No?
Never.
Would you follow them? Would it be your number 2 team?
I would definitely intriguingly follow them.
Yeah?
Definitely. You would have to, especially if some owner was like, you know what, I'm going to Kalamazoo. F these people over here on the West Coast. I like what's going on right here in the Midwest, and they came to Kalamazoo. You'd have to at least look. Shout
out to Jim Massaroni over at Angels in Kazoo. I got to come and visit you, my friend. Listen, the food's amazing. Atmosphere is wonderful. But we have our very own Kazoo expert in the studio right now.
Look at him.
South African Satawa. Tell us how
go.
you feel about this news.
This makes me laugh, man.
Let's
This actually makes me die laughing. Like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe this is a real life. People didn't even know Kalamazoo existed until Western won the national title last year.
I'm so glad you were in today at the TD. I was like, this is perfect, bro.
No, it's absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe that this is even real. I understand that we're building a new arena for our Western Michigan's sporting teams, as in their hockey team and their basketball teams, but it's still not an NBA size arena. It is I believe it's 5,000 to 8,000 people, and NBA arenas are 20 and plus. So I don't see, and they're already building a new stadium that's taking up almost the entire city.
How big will that be? Do you know?
I think it's going to be between 5,000 and 8,000 capacity.
Oh, that's small.
Yeah, it's not for, it's for a college hockey team and a college basketball team. It's not meant for an NBA team. So I don't know.
So they have to build something.
Yeah, they'd
different.
have to build another stadium, and there's honestly not a lot of places in Kalamazoo that you could build another stadium. Like, that is already taking up like the biggest part of the city, of the actual downtown of Kalamazoo. Jeez. So I don't even think that's feasible in any effect.
Yeah, 6,500 to 8,000. You hit right on that.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing. I think there's no chance.
And he name dropped Kalamazoo. I would love to know why Kalamazoo amongst those others.
When I hear Nashville and Austin, I naturally think of Kalamazoo, right? I mean, he didn't say Grand Rapids either.
I always wonder, because Michigan is a bona fide sports state. That is something, I don't care what the national media thinks, says, or does, or whatever. This is a bona fide sports state. And you know how I know that we are a bigger market than they ever wanted to give us credit for? Because look what you guys have done for Woodward Sports. Like, and seeing our content show up in everybody else's content, like national content and Gilbert Arenas and such, we are a big market that moves things, man. We absolutely do. And so it does lead me to wonder, why not Michigan for more of those pro sports teams like you see in some of the other big states that might not even have as bona fide diehard sports fans as Michigan? Yeah. I wonder sometimes. When I look over there at California, how diehard are Clipper fans actually, and Lakers fans that they deserve too in the same city?
Is there any worse situation than being a Clippers fan?
A Clippers fan? That feels weird even saying, like, oh, my Clippers fan. You're a Clippers fan.
Like, you're literally going into the Lakers Stadium for the majority of your fandom. Like, thank God they got their own digs finally. But, I mean, I'm looking, Van Andel's only 11-5. Like, they have to play outdoors, Justin.
There's literally no place for them to play.
At the new amphitheater?
Yeah, and Van Andel, as nice as it is, like, shout out to DJ Joey, who had me up there to cover the JARS Cannabis 303 tournament.
Shout out JARS.
And I've been up there for a couple of the Grandpa's Goals games. Shout out to Joey again. Beautiful arena. And you know what? It was interesting to see them bring another sports franchise actually into the state with that one. That is actually property of the Denver Nuggets, the Grand Rapids Gold. So we do have two minor league teams here in the state, one in the east, one on the west, that represents two different teams here, man. So it is interesting that we have that, but I feel like Michigan could support it. Now, my allegiances, they lie right here with these four.
It'd be a fun trip to go see our Stones play on the Fresh Coast, as they call it. But,
that would be fire. And Kalamazoo is underrated, in my opinion.
KZoo is a great town, man. Great town, great college town, and then Grand Rapids is just clean and chill. I love the vibe on the west side. But we do only have one team in state currently right now, Kool-Aid, and it is the Detroit Pistons, deadlocked 2-2 in the second round with the Cavaliers, who I believe have won the last 3 playoff series against the Pistons. So another monkey we're trying to get off of our back right now. You and I were talking this morning, and I was kind of surprised to see this as your first thing. I don't want to throw you under the bus too much, but I agree with you on it, so I'm going to say it. J.B. Bickerstaff, most to blame for Game 4 loss. Explain yourself.
What'd you say?
I said J.B. Bickerstaff, most to blame for Game 4 loss. You didn't put a question mark after it.
I sent that to you?
No.
That's part of our Swisher break. So if you see, those are statements.
So that's a nice tease.
But no, yeah.
Tease. And we will be doing.
Yeah, I got some questions for you.
The swish or brick, which, you know what? It's perfect time to pay some bills. So we'll get to that when we come back. Break. That's right. Get that swisher break.
Throw me Art and Jakes, and you can do a little.
Okay, there you go. Well, let's kick it off. Actually, something to fill your swisher with. And actually, I was just literally down there yesterday. I usually shout out MJ, but he wasn't there yesterday. Javante was at my favorite Loom location, right at 12 and Woodward. In fact, me and Justin have gone to the Berkeley location quite a few times. Shout out Javante, really great guy. Honestly, that's why I love this spot. I call it the boutique dispensary. It not only because of the way it's laid out, how clean and inviting it is, but their staff is awesome, man. And I go back every other week, man, because the prices are great, and we're hooking you up with 30% off your entire order. So use that promo code that you see there, WSN30, or the QR code right over my head, and we're gonna be your plug. All right, you're gonna get yourself 30% off at Loom, and there are spots all around the state. So check them out.
It's just something official about the way Anson says we will be your plug. You believe that face when he says it. But look, there are regular sports bars, and then there's Art and Jakes. Nobody else even comes close on game day with over 80, that's an 8 and a 0, wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, and a menu packed with fan favorites. They got exactly what you're looking for. Make sure to scan the QR code on your screen or download the A&J mobile app today to join AJ's fan club and follow them at Art and Jakes on socials and find a location near you today. A sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that.
Don't just survive, thrive.
Founders Brewery, legends in Michigan, legends in Detroit, and they've been leading the IPA class for 15 years with their all-day IPA. It is the lead in the IPA category. It's citrusy, crisp, and refreshing with perfectly balanced taste. And that 4.7% alcohol, it's going to pace you all day. So next time you're watching a game, make it an all-day IPA from Founders. But please, guys, drink responsibly.
In Planet Fitness, where they make a lot of things happen for you in the gym, Look, on the court and off the court, they're great. You see what they do here in the Planet Fitness studios. But you got to tap in when you want to take your fitness serious. There's no judgment, and they have over 50 Metro Detroit locations. Make sure you go ahead and get the black card so you can take advantage of everything they got there. Y'all always hear Bray talk about the massage that they got there, the hydro massage. Look, you got to make sure you tap in. The best thing to have to recover after your workout. So Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. No judgment, just like here at Woodward Sports.
Welcome back.
What up,
We're
though?
having fun on a miércoles, a Wednesday here for you Spanish challenged. And, well, when the big cat is away, the mice will play. We get to do whatever we want today.
Shout out Bars, man.
I didn't
Bars.
even mean that. But Randall Small is hitting us with that super chat again. I'm going to get those out of the way and remind you guys at home, A, smash that like button for us, please. I know Michael Weary, our chat police, or like police, will be on that. But also get those super chats in. Again, we are giving out an Ndamukong Suh jersey at the end of the week. Every super chat's going to get you slots on the prize. We've also got a dope hat from our friends over at Johnny Mustard's. Rando Smalls, $2. We'll be at the studio Friday the 29th. Need the address, my friend.
Hey,
I'm
shout
going to
out.
put that through to you via email.
Yeah. Email
We're
Anson.
going to hold that back. I got Randall's. I got you, baby.
Yeah.
Chris got the munchies because he went to Loom. $5 super chat. Man, love the moves.
Wait. That's the Avi?
No, I had that.
Oh, I like
I had that in there. Man, love the moves, man. Y'all got to tap in with everything King in downtown Deuce. I think them guys with y'all would be amazing. You know who he's talking about?
Everything King in downtown dudes. I actually used to have them on the Woodward Pistons Table Talk, and in the beginning here of Woodward Sports, they actually were at some things. I had them come out to Imagine Theater when we did the K. Cunningham draft party. But Everything King, he has been on YouTube, really holding it down as a content creator for over a decade, man.
Wow.
Well over a decade. So yeah, a good friend of
followers then,
Easy's and I as well.
Let's get
Definitely.
him on. Let's get him on the 2 to 4.
Definitely. Everything King. That would be fire,
Let's
man.
get him on the 2 to 4. Let's reach
That'd be
out. If
fire.
you're watching, guys, we'd love to see you and love to have you out here to Royal Oak to the new 2.0, guys. But
Yeah.
we are
They
talking.
used to be on Woodward Pistons Table Talk with me.
Woodward Pistons is back. If you
Hey,
don't know, check
let's
them out. Tap in Woodward Pistons. The best Pistons coverage in the state is courtesy of our very own Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, keep that Pistons coverage going. I know you got your segment, so tell us how it works and get us started. Tip it off.
Definitely. And I got to be able to set the stage first, because for Game 5, we have all of these different questions that we've carried throughout the majority of this playoffs, and a lot of them come back to the feet of one Mr. J.B. Bickerstaff. The lineups, the minutes, how he's handling situations, how he's choosing to say, you know what, this player deserves less minutes for his mistakes. This player can move forward. And that's where it leads us to the first question in Swish or Brick. You guys might remember this segment from Woodward Pistons and the Woo Crew Wake Up Woodward. KG and myself, along with, you know what it is, man, Flannel Broder, JB, that dude Justin in the building, among others. I say a statement, and I back up that statement. It doesn't mean that I actually agree with it, but we will back that statement up. And the participants in the room, we got Anson, we got Sweet Potato Can, we got that dude Justin. They will say Swish or Brick if you agree with the statement or if you disagree with it, but then you got to give your reasoning as to why. And so the first one we start off with here, because I think everything starts with the head of the snake. Sometimes you would start with K, but in this case, I think it might be JB Bickerstaff. But let me know what y'all think.
Put him on the floor, right?
Listen, and that's what I'm saying, chat family. Make sure that you get your answer in the chat. And Justin, that dude Justin, will keep an eye out on that. But this is the first one. JB Bickerstaff was the biggest reason for the Pistons' Game 4 loss. And you look at this thing here, and what's the contention? There's a lot of people who have problems with the minutes that Jalen Duren played versus Asar Thompson, while you have Donovan Mitchell at a historic clip in that second half, 39 points, the most, I think tied for the most ever in a playoff game in the second half. Swish or Brick Anson, JB Bickerstaff was actually not Jalen Duren, but JB Bickerstaff was the biggest reason for the Game 4 loss, not Donovan Mitchell.
I'm gonna go old school. You remember Strokeshin? Strokeshin. That's when it's such a swish you don't even hear the net.
Oh, you talking about Steph Curry, shoot it. I've turned around. I'm already running down the court.
Strokeshin.
Goodness.
Yes. He stroked it on that one. That's a swish, guys. Listen. JB has an ego on the bench at times. He's a fiery guy, and I respect him for it. He's fired up a bunch of guys that won 14 games 2 years ago. But we talked about it yesterday, and then some people around the state echoed it. I love when we're always first.
That's
We
crazy
always
that I just
first,
popped
aren't
up
we?
everywhere.
Well, our time slot, it helps too. So, listen, I talked about it yesterday. First one in the state to do so, by the way. It's a real hypocrisy, guys, because you've got a guy that draws his eye or anything that he does something bad on the offensive side of the ball. But the fact of the matter is, the SAR's out there for defense. And Jalen Duren, yeah, he's a rebounder, but he's not known for his defense. He's out there to score and dominate the paint.
Despite the growth he's had in his game, he's not known for the defense, and I get that.
And realistically, he's had a 3-week regression that none of us saw. It wasn't on any of our bingo cards. And so when you look at that, at a certain point, yeah, you don't want to mess with the guy's confidence, but you have no problem messing with the SAR's confidence. And in fact, it's like a every other week thing that happens. And to your point, you have a historic run by a guy named Donovan Mitchell, and you got your spider stopper sitting on the bench for 10 minutes. So yes, JB dialed up some great adjustments in that first half. Shout out 17 points to Karis LeVert, a guy's name that I've been calling for the whole of the playoffs. Shout out for pulling out Paul Reed later on in the second half. But you made too many mistakes as the head of the snake.
Not even
he's
20 minutes for Asar Thompson.
19. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win games with him like that unless everybody's stroking. If Duncan, he's got 15, 18 stroktions, fine. My man had 2 shots.
Stroktions, boy. Hey, Cam, how you feeling about this, man? Swish or Brick, JB Bickerstaff, the biggest reason for the loss in Game 4?
That is a big switch there. I agree.
Wow.
First half, we were looking good. We were in it. It was manageable. Come second half, we didn't score a single point until after, past the 6-minute mark in the third. Offense was crazy segmented, and they went on a historic run there. Franchise record, it was franchise record and league records they were breaking there. Couldn't put out that fire, man. JB was not pushing the buttons. We need more Paul Reed.
Hey.
I want to see more Paul Reed, y'all.
And we might have that on the docket today as well. But, hey, that dude, Justin, what up? I don't know how tapped in you've been able to be, but Game 4, you've seen the questions all throughout the playoffs. You've seen people continuing to say the same things, and now we're deep into this playoffs, about halfway through the run we hope the Pistons can have. Is JB Bickerstaff the biggest reason for the Game 4 loss? Swish or Brick?
I will say, as a disclaimer before I go, I was in South Africa, and the game started at 2 a.m., so it was very difficult to watch the whole thing.
Did you catch a few, though?
I did. I watched the game that was at 3:30.
Saturday.
Yep, Saturday. So that was really nice. I enjoyed that because it was at 9. But I think so, because you can't excuse the way that this rotate, Asar is such a key contributor to this team. And then I'm with Cam. I mean, B-Ball Paul has been uber efficient, 14 of 15 of his last 15 shots. And when you're not getting a lot from Jalen Duren, the non-negotiable when it comes to Jalen Duren, in my opinion, is he is supposed to control the paint. That is his role. That is his job.
Man.
Yes. I cannot see games where he's in single-digit rebounding. That is ridiculous.
No.
He is the most athletic guy on the court.
Go
up and get the damn ball. I'm sorry. And then on the offensive side, I mean, the games get tighter. He's not a guy who can really score on the outside. He's got to get in there. And if you want to get in there, you got to go up strong, you got to go up hard. And he's not making the physical plays that he needs to make to get those tough baskets in the paint. And that's where B-Ball Paul is getting in there, getting gritty, and he's bringing a lot more to the post game than Jalen Duren is currently, and he's got to get back. The pick and roll between him and Cade Cunningham just has not been working. And
stick in the mud.
Yeah, and that's a main part of this offensive identity for this Pistons team. So it's not where we want it to be right now. Hopefully, we've seen the spurts where he's been able to get going. He's got to find some type of regular season form for the postseason, because everyone was talking max contract now. They might be losing a little bit of millions with this playoff performance, and that's sad to say because he deserves to get his bread.
And I wanted to find some way to be different. I wanted to find some way to be able to come up here and say, no, this is hell. I love him, but this is a Ben Wallace at the free throw line brick. But instead, this is a Richard Hamilton in the mid-range swish. It's butter. As soon as you saw, as soon as you see Chauncey Billups put the sign up and you see Sheed and Ben go to the free throw line, you already know whoever's defending them is getting beat the hell up, and Richard Hamilton's going to be walloped for a swish. That's what this is for J.B. Bickerstaff, in my opinion. I don't believe that all the criticism that's been levied his way throughout the playoffs has been rightly laid, but when you look at 19 minutes in the playoffs for Asar Thompson, while Donovan Mitchell was going off, absolutely going off. Like, you had enough to win this game. You had enough. Where we laid it at the feet of Cade Cunningham for those 3 turnovers while you had the lead in crunch time. We say, look, he wound up top 5 in crunch moments. Just the same way, you have to lay this at the feet of J.B. Bickerstaff, because in the defining moments where you needed a stopper, you didn't have him in the game.
You won 3 quarters. All you have to do is not lose the third as bad as you did. That's it.
Yep. And that's it there. So it's like, I like everything J.B. Bickerstaff stands for, but just as it relates to being able to judge this singular game, I do say, you know what? As the leader of this team, as the leader of men amongst this team, J.B. Bickerstaff, the one who puts the lineups out there, as much as it pains me to say this, man, it's a switch. Richard Hamilton from the mid-range. I'm grown.
Look at the Kool-Aid over here.
It only took me 5 years, guys. Well, we got a real coach who I know can take the heat, though. It's different when, look, Dwayne Casey was good. He was a good coach at being able to take the X's and O's back and forth. And there were some criticisms that I had, but he was like, you know what? You're respectful in it, and he was cool. Monty, it was weird, bro, because even when you would bring straight criticism, he would just regurgitate the same answers, and we started realizing, I don't think he's going to be here very long. But it sounded crazy to think about, and then he really wasn't here long. But with JB, he would actually sit down and say, yeah, I was on some BS. You know what I mean? That's what I appreciate.
Second generation legend.
Yes. Yeah, as coaches. And you know what? You guys have all alluded at it. And second question, ironically enough, or the second statement, swish or brick? Paul Reed and chat fam, I need y'all to chime in. Paul Reed and not Jalen Duren needs to start game 5.
A little chat update before that. Go into
for the last one.
There seems to be no one who didn't blame JB in the chat. I don't think I saw one person who was on the side of JB.
Wow.
Oh, brick. Except Dante. Shout out Dante. Only person in the chat that said brick.
Dante
and then a couple people said the refs, but
they didn't help.
They didn't help.
That was historic as well. When you look at that spread,
the free throw disparity is ridiculous. I mean, this is like I was box score watching, and that was the first thing I noticed was. Before I even watched the highlights, was how many free throws, especially Donovan Mitchell gets.
15-4 at half, and we had the lead.
There you go. And yeah, you're right.
We had the lead.
It is interesting, though, when you see the amount of blocks that the Cavs have in this series. They are actually crushing the Pistons in that department. I'm not used to seeing that because we are the stocks leader. Not just that, number 1 in blocks and steals. They are by far, leading the Pistons by over, I think, 20 to 25 blocks in this series.
Because Duren's absent.
But
Isaiah's
the fouls are so low, though.
But Beef Stew's not getting any real minutes.
Look, they're saying effectively that the Cleveland Cavaliers are playing the perfect defense because they're getting the block numbers. They're proving that they are making the attempts in the paint, but the Pistons aren't getting the calls.
In 2 games.
Through the last 2 games, man. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out tonight after J.B. Bickerstaff did a little bit of complaining of his own, and I'm glad that he didn't have his players do any of the complaining. That's one of the differences to me when I talk about J.B. Bickerstaff. Yes, there's going to be times when it's his fault, but in terms of the makeup of who he is, you saw Kenny Atkinson had his guys at the podium crying. You had J.B. Bickerstaff have his players at the podium saying, we got to be better. And that's what I love about who he is as a coach and the mindset that he's brought to this team. That's why I think we saw them tough this thing out against the Orlando Magic. They said it the entire time.
Orlando Magic.
We got to be better.
Shout out KG moving everything.
Yeah, I'm like KG in the background. Gordon, shout out to those fellas.
He's moving it so quiet, too. He's, man.
That's a ninja.
Samurai back
I'm about to say, on his Assassin's Creed. Look at him, man.
Nice chop right there.
Shout out to him. But, hey, look, man. Paul Reed, though, and not Jalen Duren, needs to start Game 5. This is one of the wildest ones I've actually heard. But there's a lot of people out there who have these supporting statements. I've seen this on social media, okay? They believe that that Paul Reed provides the Pistons the best chance at the fastest start. Even if you don't play him longer than 5 to 6 minutes to start the game, They believe it is Paul Reed, who has proven to be better as it relates to rebounding, playing and dominating in that paint area a little bit more, like Justin was alluding to, and being able to be a player who can honestly play well in that pick and roll. He has actually come through in the pick and roll a little bit better. Swish or brick for you, Paul Reed and not Jalen Duren as your Game 5 starter?
As Mark Champion once said, rubber rim job. That is a brick.
What?
Oh, you have surprised
Yeah,
me.
he did say that. Mark Champion once
he
said
did.
rubber
That's
rim job.
insane.
The rubber rim job. That's one of my all-time
How close
favorites.
of a brick? Is this
So
like a rim
this-
out? Is this one like halfway down and out, or is this one
The
just a
rubber
straight
rim
up brick?
job is where you get screwed. It was
Yep.
halfway down, it comes back out. This is a brick though. Paul Reed should be in the 20-minute category.
Definitely.
Okay, but you don't sit your big man of the future at 22 years old. Okay,
You preaching.
and we talking about those first few minutes. Listen, if he's bad, you sit him after 3 minutes, 3 minutes. You don't do that to a 22-year-old psyche who just came out of the Love Triangle series. Okay.
Oh my God! not
During
this
at this
again.
point right now, listen, you've got to, when you're coaching, when you got kids or everything, there's these moments where you have to be very careful on how you handle somebody.
Yeah.
You can send them backwards instead of sending them forwards. And I think that benching him to start a game is a signal of no confidence. And the fact is his play in the first 3 minutes will determine how many minutes he gets in this game. Now, if the question was, should he play the final 6 minutes of the game, regardless of how he played the first three
should
quarters?
he be the closer?
That one would be a swish because the flat out, he shouldn't have came
Efficiency,
back
man.
into that game the way that Paul Reed was playing. And we saw the words from JB saying, hey, you got to go with the guy and you got to give him the confidence. You give him the confidence with the start, JB. You go with the hot hand to finish.
You know what? I like what you said there because it's not just a question of should Duren play or not play. It's a question of the guy that is your backup is actually having a good time right now. And in hockey, we call that a goalie standing on his head. We don't care if you're the starter or not. If your goalie got hot going into the playoffs or in the playoffs, you are going to ride that until it's not anymore. And that's what I see here as it relates to Paul Reed because this guy set efficiency numbers in records in the freaking regular season for the Pistons. And what did it do? It followed him into the freaking postseason. This is somebody that you need a part of at least the mix. We've all been saying this from the beginning of the playoffs when we were trying to guess what are the playoff rosters going to be. And we realized instantly we're playing a team in the Orlando Magic who love to pack the paint. We're playing a team in Orlando Magic early on who love to get physical and gritty, and you need those types of players. We used to just be able to have Isaiah Stewart, but you know what? Now we have the luxury of having a few more of those players that can kind of get after it. And I'm hoping that we see a package deal of at least two of these players getting some really substantive minutes tonight. And two of these three, Paul Reed, Javonte Green, Ron Holland.
And let's be honest, Beef Stew would start before Paul Reed would.
Yeah.
So I love the thought. I love the sentiment. And I want to see the minutes. I want to love the 18 to 22 minutes that Paul Reed gets tonight or even more.
Yep.
But, I mean, the hope and the prayer is that you don't need him because Duren's balling.
That's the hope and the prayer. That's who you wanted to be able to give the max to. Going
But
into
is
the
that
playoffs,
realistic?
we were all celebrating like, yeah,
No, it's not
throw him the
realistic.
money.
Right now, it's not realistic.
No,
It's
this
not, though.
postseason.
It's
And
not.
So the quick hook has to come.
Yeah,
Period.
and that's
if
what
it's needed, it has to come quick.
And that's what JB Bickerstaff did in the second half of the last game at about the 9-minute mark. We remarked about it here on the watch party at Woodward Sports. Y'all got to make sure y'all stay tapped in tonight for that, as well as a little bit of that pregame on the Woodward heavyweights. Man, Platty, Koloff, is along with Easy and Spence hosting. They do a fabulous job. But, that was something we remarked at. How long do they ride with Jalen Duren? Because Easy was flipping and he was fuming. Mm-hmm. He was to the point where he was like, I wouldn't start him in the second half. He was like, it's unacceptable. This is not a regular season game. This is a very important and pivotal game. You win that game, you basically guarantee you're going to win this series if you're the Detroit Pistons. And he really believed in that moment, as did the whole chat. You were here, Sweet Potato Cam, and you were in the chat. People were ready to see the change. And I know even in some of the emotion, maybe it changes the next day how we feel about it. But in that moment, that's how people were feeling. So it's going to be interesting, when you see JB go to that hook quick. And we were looking like, did he come back in at all during the third quarter? We're like, no.
I messaged the chat 6 minutes into the game. Can we effing sit Duren yet?
Do you think it'll be – and that's the thing. In the first half, I can see him going back to that in the second half, but I wonder in the first half if he gives Duren every opportunity to get it going tonight.
You can see quick, though. You could just tell his – I don't want to say his energy level, but his edge. And there's just games where you've seen him out there and compete with that edge and put that physique, up against. Well, I got to be careful. There's a pause coming out. But what this guy does for us, like, you need that presence so much, but you can tell immediately if Duren is not in that edge bag, if you will, and at that point, if you can see he's playing a little bit softer, the energy is always there with the guy, but sometimes he just plays soft. When you see that version of Duren,
you're right, bro.
You gotta sit.
And I don't even want to admit that.
Yeah.
I've tried to push back. I've tried to push back on those notions, dog, and I've even heard people use the dreaded 3 letters DRE, Mr. Drummond, as it relates to Jalen. I've heard that, and as you continue to look at this thing, I've like, all right, I'm going to look at who he is in the beginning of these games. And there's just times where it's like, where's the ferocity? Where's that guy who I'm used to going out there? And he used to say this. I remember 2 years ago, he said, look, Stu and I, we want to make sure, pause in advance, that everybody feels us in the paint. We want to make sure that we put our hands on everybody. That's right. We want to make sure that we initiate the contact. We initiate the physicality. And in this one, there's been drives even that Jalen Duren has taken down the right rack that I'm like, I remember him kind of getting up a little bit more physical than I'm seeing right now. And so I'm hoping that we get back to that type of a Jalen Duren, because if he's going to have a game, if JB Bickerstaff is going to continue to rock with his guy, because he's an all-star. This is what you do with these players. I mean, heck, the Detroit Tigers kept rocking with Javi Baez for a minute, man.
They're still rocking with him.
And they're still rocking with him.
They're still rocking with him.
This is what you do for your guys. And so, and I know that dude, Justin, I heard you as well. You answered, but I got to go to you, Cam, just real quick, because you had some interesting statements on it before we get our next Swish or Brick question and then a break. What are you doing with Jalen Duren tonight? Swish or Brick for you that he needs to start Paul Reed and not Jalen Duren?
Look, as much of a fan as I am of B-Ball Paul there, I feel like Duren's got to start. We need that all-star
and
Duren
perform.
back. Yeah. Start and perform. Paul Reed will get in there, but we need JD on that. We need JD in there, causing that havoc. Let's see that all-star show up, man.
What's the hook like for you tonight if you're JB Bickerstaff?
Yank him. I mean, if we see the same old, if we see the 2026 playoff Duren version, like
quick in the first
12
quarter.
minutes, 12 minutes tops.
Ooh, first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter. Yeah.
You give him three. You give him 3 a quarter to figure it out.
That's
and
fair.
If you looking like the way, listen, if I get game 1 through 4 during an either series, you're sitting after 3 minutes. If I get the guy I saw in the last 3 against Orlando, it's gonna be a different story. But we got to see that one.
I'm also pretty optimistic, though, that sit down, that bench in the third quarter lit a fire under his booty to get him motivated, get him going, right? Like, let's jumpstart that big man. I feel like we saw that also in the regular season there, where Asar wasn't performing all that well, and he got the bench for an extended period.
You got absolutely.
No, I'm laughing at the chat right here. Grommet says, "Where did this shit go?" Oh, this is ridiculous. Duren is playing like he's Frankenstein, and the ball is fire. Ooh. Dude, that missed freebie when he thought Cade was shooting it.
And yes, I did defend it on air. I wanted to see Cade just shoot that, but
it was a free money.
Come on, and that's what I mean, though. As you really take that step back, take off the blue lenses, and you just call it as it is, because what's most important? Is it most important that Duren understands what he needs to do to be better? Is it most important with the platforms we have to call it like it is? So if these things, which we do know, come up across their timelines and such, yes, speak the truth. The best thing we could do to help is to honestly be as honest as possible and real as possible. And that was a moment that from the moment that I saw it and I initially defended it, every time that I've seen it since then, Anson, it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I can't defend that. Duren just has to be better. The motor, I have not wanted to use that word with Jalen Duren, but the motor from the get-go has to be there. And like Justin has said, among others, you have said it, Braylon has said it, shout out to our brother, I've said it, control the paint. The rebounds have to be yours. It has to matter when you put your elbow into the chest of Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. It can't be demonstrably different when I see Isaiah Stewart walk into the game and then all of a sudden, oh, there's our physicality. Yeah. There's our fight, because you know what? I don't even really want to say, but it just seems like Isaiah Stewart might be a little hobbled. And I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to give no excuses.
He's hobbled by the refs. He can't even box out without getting an offensive or
that too
loose ball foul.
But that's where you want to see Jalen Duren, who's supposed to be stepping into this next precipice, who we weren't just talking about regular old all-star. I like Tyler Herro. Pistons, go and pick him up in the offseason. But Jalen Duren was supposed to have an effect on this team much larger and much bigger than that, and he did in the regular season. But now he's getting this heavy dose. Like, you want to believe, bro, you played in the playoffs last year. How are you not understanding it? I guess when the responsibility tunes up, because what was everybody saying last year? Well, if we had Isaiah Stewart, well, if I was a starting center on a team, I would actually feel a little disrespected. I would feel like I would take that as a personal challenge because I was the starter last year during that Knicks series. I had the opportunity to go out there and actually make pay. And now you had another playoff series to do that, and now what are people saying? Again, well, if the backup center got more minutes. That's where I'm hoping that Jalen Duren looks at this and takes that a whole lot more personal. And gets fired up from the get-go to at least just bring chaos. He's big enough. He has the athleticism. He has the speed. You have the skill set. Bring chaos to the paint. But I'm not saying it looks like he's like asking permission for it sometimes.
Yeah. The guy bringing chaos to the paint for this team right now is Paul Reed. Shout out Brandon Robinson with the Super Chat, $5. Getting 2 spots on that wheel to win that Sioux jersey on Friday. How long did we sign Paul Reed? I'm worried if he don't get PT, he's going to leave. We actually need him. Fortunately, he is signed through next year at only $5 million, probably one of the best price. I battled with the peasant fans all year. They're trying to tell me Mitchell.
It gets me
they're trying to tell me Mitchell Robinson is better than Paul Reed.
No,
and I like Mitchell.
There might have been a time.
Well,
but not today.
If you do per 36 minutes, Paul Reed absolutely owns him. He's probably one of the most slept-on, underrated big men in the league. And when he does leave the Pistons after next year, he will get a very good contract, I believe. But he's got to get those minutes, and I see him getting up plenty tonight. What's your next one?
Yeah, definitely. The next one, Swisher Brick. Just like with the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell in Game 4, this one has to be a Cade Cunningham game for the Detroit Pistons to win. And by that, I mean one of those historic performances. By that, I mean one of those performances where it had us calling him Madison Square Cade. We knew when we needed a win in Game 2 to give this young Pistons team hope in their first playoff series, Cade went out in Game 2 against the Knicks, and he had his way in that first quarter. And so I go to you, Anson Wells, and let me know what a Cade Cunningham game. So if it's a swish, let me know what that Cade Cunningham game looks like for you. But this one needs to be the stamp. If Game 4 was a Donovan Mitchell game, Game 5, the Cade Cunningham game for the Pistons to win, swish or brick.
That's a brick. That's Game 6. That's
Talk
on the road.
Talk to me, Anson.
If we want to close this thing out after a Game 5 win on the road, or if we're fighting for our lives on the road after dumping tonight, Cade has to show up and give us that Madison Square Cade game that the C will turn the building into the C instead of the Q.
You surprised me with this one.
All right. So, yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at this, and I've looked at what we did in Game 5, 6, and 7 against Orlando. Obviously, Cade was great, but I really thought what picked us up at home was the complete play of everybody. And I think that's what you need to see tonight to eke out a close one. They probably lose Game 6, and then we come home and the entire team on the back of an otherworldly Cade game, we blow them out in Game 7 the way we do at home.
Cade takeover in Cleveland.
Well, that's what would have to happen if we have to get Game 6. But I really see these 2 wins, both being at home and them being full team efforts, which starts with the boys in the paint. The Pistons in the paint have to do what they did in Game 1 and 2, which is win that battle.
Yeah, and I see, you know what? I'm seeing some guys in the chat. Dante151, he says, swish. Cade, 39 points and 15 assists. You know what? If we get that game, I do believe you get a Pistons win. Yes. Got to go over to our booth boys real quick. Hey, sweet potato cam. Swish or brick for you. Tonight has to be that Cade Cunningham game for the Pistons to win.
That's a swish, baby.
He's taking a swish or break.
That is a swish. We need that all-star Cade to be there. I'm calling triple dubs. I'd like to see that 15 assists also. I don't think that's going to happen.
He's the type of player that can get the double-digit assist still with a high-scoring output.
Yes, sir. He really can. He really can. But we also need multiple performances from our role players, a la Karis LeVert. Like, we need more of those. Where did Duncan go last game? Where was he? You know? Asar, what's up, yo? Like, come on now.
I love Cam, dog.
So I'm saying swish, bring it back home, Cade. We miss your triple doubles.
Definitely. Hey, that dude, Justin, how you feeling about tonight? Hey, I like this because I do believe we're going to need a big game from Cam, but like the brick that we got from Anson Wells, he believes we need everybody to show up tonight. We need some other guys to step up. Where you at with this Cade Cunningham game tonight? Take it out of everybody's hands, put it in Cade's?
Before I answer, I just want to tell everyone, don't you worry about the new lineup changes. There will be plenty of DMAC, Maz, and T-Foss for everyone. Don't you worry about that. But I personally do believe this has to be a Cade Cunningham game. He is the primary scorer. We don't have another guy who can create off the dribble the way that Cade Cunningham can. And when the buckets get tough and you got to have them, Donovan Mitchell, regardless of the flopping, he got him the last 2 games. And he has to be the best player on the floor. He is the best player in the series. He's the MVP candidate. And everyone wants to hype him up as that. So you better play like it. This is such a swing game in this series after you just lost 2 in Cleveland. I know the whistle will be better in Detroit. I expect it. We've seen it. Both of these, every single playoff series in the last 2 years, we've seen the whistle swing back to us when the games are in Detroit. Cade Cunningham will get the whistle and make plays. I have faith in him. I believe he's going to have a great game. Let's effing go.
Hey, let's effing go. And I love the energy there, too. I do believe we're going to get a great game from Cade, especially one where he's concerted, dialed in, and they're going in with a game plan to get him to his spots. That's what I believe the Cavaliers did really, really well for both James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. The one thing you notice, their pace of play sped up. There's parts now where James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, when they're in the game, they're playing faster. They're getting out into the half court, and they realize when the Pistons' defense isn't set, them boys are all they're just discombobulated, and they were able to in the first quarter kind of take some of the wind out of what I thought was a good Pistons game plan. James Harden was able to nullify that early, and then Donovan Mitchell in the second half continued to absolutely, honestly, he called out our guys. He called out Cade Cunningham. He didn't call for the picks. He called out those, and that's why I'm like, where the frick is this Hart Thompson, like you were saying? But he was going after whoever was on him, whether they switched off to Tobias or whether it was Cade or whether at certain times it was Ron, and he was having his way. This is something I'm hoping the Pistons can do. I would rather send him to the free throw line all night than to see him just kind of get into that lane and have his way the way that he was doing and into that mid-range the last time.
You got any more?
Hey, I definitely do. And this one,
How many more?
One more.
One more. Let's hit that, and then we'll hit the break.
In this one, I wonder if people are going to agree with me here. Swish or brick, Asar Thompson has to play. This is a has to. He has to play at least 30 minutes. That's what he's been asking for the Pistons to win Game 5.
Swish.
Take it away, Anson.
Swish. I told you guys, I put it in the, I mentioned this yesterday.
Shout out KG.
I thought that Neil was going to hop all over me in the chat because he's an Asar hater. And I said back in the Orlando series, I said that this team this year, before we get Trey Murphy, before we get Drew Holiday, and I throw my fantasy out there, it slipped. We only go as far as Asar takes us this year. And that means not just defense, but it means offense too. When he's in his bag around the rim, getting those backdoor cuts, couple of turnaround jumpers, put back flushes and tips, gets himself 10, 12 points, but you know he's got 3, 4 offensive rebounds. He's getting assists. He does so much for this team on both sides of the ball. Yeah. I know he doesn't shoot the ball well, guys, but if you see the spacing that he creates, the way that he can move the defense to create openings for his teammates before he gets the ball off to them, this guy is paramount to the 2026 Pistons' success. We saw what happened when he sat. We saw what Spider can do. We have a Spider stopper. We have to use him.
Hey, you know what? That is a bar. Hey, Sweet Potato Cam, how you feeling about this thing? Asar Thompson, 30-plus minutes is the recipe for the Detroit Pistons to beat the Cavs tonight.
So wish. I mean, we're talking about, runner-up, defensive player of the year. He's got to lock it down. No more runs.
Now, you know you're
Donovan.
disagreeing with J.B. Bickerstaff now, who played him just 19 in the last game.
I understand, he's an offensive liability, but defense is the identity of this team.
From their mouth.
Where did all the blocks go? They, evaporated last game.
Yeah, if you're going to foul as many times as you did, put somebody on their ass. Please.
I'm not even going to pause that. I'm not even going to. We need it. Shout out that dude, Justin. What say ye, Asar Thompson? 30 minutes is the recipe for the Pistons to win, switch or break.
I'm not an expert on the rotation and how many minutes each player plays in each game, but he has to be a big factor in this win. And if the whistle is, which I feel like is part of why the minutes kind of went down, is the whistle, and Ausar plays very physical defense, and with the way that Spider was getting the calls, it wasn't feasible to have him out there with him not producing on the offensive end. But I want to call upon to last year's Game 5, where we played the New York Knicks in the Garden, 106-103. Ausar Thompson over 20 points, 7 rebounds, 8 for 10 shooting, 2 blocks. That would be a beautiful game out of Ausar Thompson, and something that I would hope he's able to replicate. If he is able to replicate a game like that in this critical game in this series, that would give me a lot for powering this Pistons team to winning this series. I do think it's going to be in 7. I don't think that I think the whistle is going to swing back next game. But while we have the whistle, you got to let Ausar go out there, dominate defensively, be physical at the point of attack. You saw him on Jalen Brunson last year when he was not getting the calls, and he was locking him up. So to as much as you can, lock up a guy like Jalen Brunson who makes extremely tough shots to look easy.
What about you, Kool-Aid?
Yeah, for me, I want to see Ausar Thompson in a game like tonight get all the minutes and I want him to know he's getting all the minutes.
36?
I would give him the 35 plus. I want him to know you're getting all of the minutes. I want him to be able to play as freely as we see Tobias Harris play. That is it to me. Does he feel like, if I make a mistake or if I get a foul or if I'm out of position,
I'm not punishing you tonight, young man. You play how you want.
That's what I want to see. Just let him go out there and just play, because I started to realize what's the difference between when Cade's there or not. We see Point Ausar in some of those games go ham. One of my favorite games was actually against the Atlanta Hawks, and I thought, man, we're going to get washed. No Cade Cunningham, Dyson Daniels on the other side of this thing. Let's see what happens. And Point Ausar took over. And I started wondering, do they not mesh? No, because Ausar is facilitation driven. That's been
against
his game.
The Great Barrier Thief.
But if Cade's there and this roster is more complete and they have the secondary facilitator, then that means you don't necessarily, I guess in JB's thinking, need Ausar as much as you would think on the offensive side. No, but what we're seeing now is that he has so much more greater impact, not just defensively, but on how this team can even generate and produce and create offense in the defense to offense, getting out in the transition. Look, we talk about steals and blocks and things of that nature. One of the things you miss when you taking Ausar Thompson out, even if the steal isn't registered to him, look up deflections. Look who's one of those leaders. There's a reason why Ausar Thompson won 2 Defensive Player of the Month awards, because he was disrupting the way teams were playing offense, and he was improving the way the Pistons played offense without having to even be in the half court where they struggle. So if you taking Ausar Thompson and you are reducing his minutes to under 20, that to me, I love JB Bickerstaff, but that's something I hope changes by at least plus 10 to plus 15 tonight.
I think everybody in Detroit wants to see more Ausar. I know you guys want to see more from us. We're a little overdue to pay some bills. When we come back, She Loves Me on Payday has a super chat, one final swish or brick, and then we'll do some Lion stuff. All right? But let's pay some bills first. Justin, what you got on tap for us, buddy?
All right, we got estate title and pure psychology.
All right, let's go estate first.
Hey, let's rock. Hey, whether you're buying a home or refinancing, the team at Estates Title Agency makes the closing process simple and convenient. Proudly serving Michigan since 2003, the staff at Estates Title has over 20 years of experience, so they know what they're doing. Combine that with Nabi's expertise, and they can guide any title or escrow transaction to a smooth landing. They know you are busy, which is why they offer evening and weekend closings by appointment. And they will even complete the transaction at a location of your choice. And look, no matter where you are in a home buying process, even if you're not even buying a home right now, these are still good people to have in your back pocket when you get to that process. Because I'm telling you, you need good people when you're doing things like this and taking those next steps. For all your title needs, call Mr. Deeds.
And for all your mental needs, reach out to Pure Psych, because guys, this May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is time to take a minute and give yourself some of your own self-love, and there's nobody better than Pure Psychiatry, because they tailor a plan specifically for you, not the cookie cutter stuff that everybody else does. And Pure Psychiatry, they're throughout Michigan. They've got a couple spots in Northern Ohio as well. Whether you're dealing with PTSD, anxiety, whatever it might be. If you need counseling, you need to take that time. These are the guys to get you there. So please reach out to them at purepsychmi.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Put down that gut-wrenching energy drink. I know it's mid-afternoon, but it is time to upgrade your game with Thrive Energy pouches. This ain't your daddy's dip. It's tobacco-free, nicotine-free, mental powerhouse, packing 300 mgs of clean, smart caffeine. No sugar crash, zero bloating. Thrive can be found at dipstop.com. Remember to use that promo code WSF for 50% off your entire order. Found exclusively at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. Thrive Clean Energy. They just flippin' work.
And then after you dose yourself up on caffeine and you're crashing, make sure, well, not for a while, though, because those Thrive pouches are unreal, but make sure you relax and upgrade your energy game in the Massage Chair House, the biggest massage chair showroom in Michigan. And let me tell you, the Osaki and the Osaka both hit different. Go back, watch that draft party of ours where we're all relaxing to the maxing. And so make sure you check it out. Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc on YouTube. Check out his content. He makes great stuff, and he is a great, great person. So make sure you tap in, scan that QR code above my head.
Shout out.
Welcome back, guys.
What up, though?
Second hour. We're running a little bit long on that one, so I know you guys want to talk a little bit of Lions. There's been some new stuff that's come out this week. We talked at length yesterday about Germany, about the game in Munich.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of people were talking that was going to be the New York Giants, and it ended up not being the New York Giants. It ended up being the New England Patriots. Does this change anything for you guys? How do you feel about this game abroad? Is this something? I mean, we haven't seen the Lions go. We've seen them go south, not so much across the pond. Does it matter who they're playing?
To me, it doesn't matter who they're playing. I just want to see a dub. But when you do see that it is the Patriots who are coming off of a lot of the fanfare last year, I like the fact that they're treating this game serious and it's not just a whatever matchup. I like the fact that this is one that it should draw a lot of eyes. If you're talking about an overseas game, give me an intriguing matchup, and you got cross conferences as well. I like this right here. I really do. This is one to get me up and get me fired up, even that much more than Lions football already does. And I do believe that the Detroit Lions have a great chance to come away as the winners of this game as well. When you're talking about those all eyes on me type of games for the Lions, they have generally fared pretty well outside of the playoffs. Hopefully they change that. But this is what I'm looking forward to. I am. The Giants would have been cool, but I think kind of being in the having the Giants at home, a team that I believe I think that's a squad that I want our home fans for that game. That's one where I want to be able to make sure that they understand that Detroit is effectively the city that they don't forget the entire rest of the season. So it's like I would rather, instead of playing them in Germany, I'd rather get them right here in the D.
Do you think the NFL wants the Patriots to lose in another country?
I love Anson. You got to tell me this, man. Expand on this. I love this.
It's I'm conspiracy minded. I mean,
we got pure psychiatry.
If you're putting, you put the Patriots in Germany, and they're gonna lose.
You know what? I can see.
If it was the Giants, Lions, it wouldn't even be in my head bouncing around. But the Patriots.
Listen, you're talking about international affair.
Yeah.
The red, white, and the blue of the Patriots.
Didn't lose in Germany the last time they were there. It was a long time ago.
Look, they're catching that L this time, though. Unfortunately,
I hope so, man. Glad they didn't catch it in 45. I'll say that. I will say that. Let's talk some betting lines, guys. I'm looking at it here. I had last year's written down. Forgive me. So I'm updated here. I'm updated.
On the Lions, huh?
10.5. They're at 10.5 and plus 110. I'm going to go to you, young Obi-Wan, when it comes to betting, Mr. South African Satawa. Where are you at on that one?
I think they're going to smash that. As limited as I think this team is in the playoffs, they're going to walk through this regular season. I think this is, and I hate to be this guy because it did bite me in the butt last year, and I'm learning from that by saying that I do think this team without an upgrade at the trade deadline is not Super Bowl caliber, but they are good enough to win double-digit games. They are playing one of the worst schedules in the NFL. They do lose the home game in Europe, but as long as they get the bye week coming back from Europe, I'm not worried about it because it would also be in the back half of the season, something that the early bye has hurt this team multiple years. So I love that. I love the 10.5. I think they're going to smash it. I think they're a 12-win football team with how their schedule lines up, and we're just going to wait and see how the rest falls, I guess, because I'm optimistic how good this team is and how the pieces align. I just don't think that every piece is in the puzzle.
All right, I'm going to ask you three, or the two of you and myself here. What are the odds that Cam is a gambler, that he has some sort of gambling app on his phone? Don't look at his head as he's shaking it. No. All right. I had very low odds that you're not a gambler, are you?
Oh, no.
I didn't think so.
But my boys and I...
You'd prefer to spend that money on sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, food. Yes, sweet potatoes, exactly. You bet.
So are you buying it, 10.5? You think they go over?
I think it's over. Yeah, I think it's over. We're fourth place, schedule in the division there. Yeah, we're good, man. I mean, bolster the offensive line. Really, it's that defense that I'm worried about, though.
Yeah.
It's just that's the main concern in my view right now. I'm stoked about Pacheco, though. I want to see that dynamic duo with Ja and Pacheco.
Yeah, I think it'll be slightly less dynamic, but I'm still a big Pacheco guy. I think he's going to be great here.
I'm excited for that as well because it's a backup running back who is in that position just for that.
Yeah, he knows his lane.
That everything he's working out for, everything he's studying for is literally for that, and he's happy to be that. I wonder, not that David Montgomery didn't support Jahmyr Gibbs, but I think it's different when you have a guy who's playing a backup and saying, look, I'm just here for your success as the number one and to go and do anything that the team would ask me of. I think that this puts the Lions, when you're losing a player as impactful as David Montgomery, I think it puts them in a good position to carry on the way that we've seen them in the past, especially when you got a guy like Pacheco back there.
Yeah, and when you're looking at Pacheco, I mean, he was so injured the last 2 years. They were largely pathetic years. I didn't think he would be an early signee during free agency. I think he was pretty happy that the Lions picked up the phone and said, we want you. Because, I mean, he was trending as a third-string running back around the league, at least through perception. For me, 10.5 games, I think they clear that bar without a problem. Next.
Easy. Yeah.
North Division champs. They are only a plus 145. Explain that to us, young Justin. What does that mean, plus 145 to be the NFC North champs?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Packers and the Bears play top 5 hardest schedules in the league compared to the Lions, who play a bottom 5 schedule in the league. And obviously it doesn't go year to year, but there's always a team that goes worst to first. And this is going to be the Lions' year that they do that. The fact that they finished in 4th with a 9-8 record is almost astonishing. It happens so rare. I mean, you see in the NFC South every year, teams make the playoffs at 9-8, 8-9. Nonetheless, I think that this is telling you how much they believe in the Lions, and also the fact that Green Bay is over the Bears should kind of tell you something. After the Bears finished first, I feel like they're just like a lot like how they were doing for the Lions last year. They're baiting you on the harder schedule. Like they're trying to say, right. You're going to give me the third best odds for the arguably the best team in the division. Not in my opinion, but around the NFL, a lot of people like the Bears.
Surface fans.
Yep. I think that is only because they want to try to bait some people into taking the Bears, because a lot of the casual fan doesn't realize they lost their All-Pro their Pro Bowl center. They replaced him with a rookie. You're going to see a lot like the stuff that you saw last year with the Lions. They lost a ton of pieces in their secondary, even though they had a good draft. The Packers, I mean, they are just volatile. Like they can show up and be the best team in the NFL one day, and then they can show up and they can lose to the Browns. In even more of a regard than the Lions can. Like the Lions just own bad teams. Like they are too good offensively to lose to bad teams. However, the Packers are a little more volatile in terms of their talent. So I think that it's where I would expect it to be, the Lions to be the favorite, but by a short margin.
Kool-Aid, before I pitch this one to you, I want to kind of add on to something that Justin alluded to. He said that the Green Bay Packers were over the Bears. In terms of odds right now, Lions sit at 150 to 180 plus, which does put them as the favorites. Packers are between 180 to 230, number 2 in the division. The Bears at 310 to 333, easily third. And then they like the Vikings not at all, at 500 to 700 plus for them. Are the Detroit Lions going to win the division, Kool-Aid?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They're getting back to business as usual for the Detroit Lions. It's interesting to see, no pun intended, the love that's always had for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers every single year. But I get it. They're going to
see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did there. But for the Detroit Lions, I believe it's just back to business as usual. They missed the playoffs by a hair, and they had everything kind of go wrong from them. Not just injuries and such, but you're also talking about what you thought you had from your coaching staff. Not just all that you had to kind of figure out on the fly with the offensive coordinator, basically gone, and Dan Campbell taking over the duties, even though he was just a dead man walking here. Shout out Johnny Morton. He landed on his feet, though. But also on the defensive side, Kelvin Shepherd, who needed some help. Kelvin Shepherd, who I thought the foundation that he laid, it was good, but in terms of what you needed to make the proper adjustments for your team to win football games, it wasn't quite there. This year, though, I don't expect those types of growing pains for your Detroit Lions, Kelvin Shepherd. Drew Petzing, they do have Mike Kafka here, so they chose to insulate even further their offensive side of the ball, not just with the additions in the draft, not just with the additions in free agency, shout out K. Mays, but also with going and stocking up the offensive room as it relates to the coaching staff. I believe that these are some of the things that are going to start to change things for your Detroit Lions, and in health. You're talking about health next year for this team, which I believe, you get an Aleem McNeil, game record Aleem McNeil. You look at those sacks that went, 3 sacks, 5.5 sacks, and then 1. I believe we're going to get back to the Aleem McNeil that you can expect to be somebody from the interior that can blow up everything and is going to require double teams. How much more does that absolutely help the edge opposite, whoever is there, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson? How much more does that help your linebackers who, yes, Jack Campbell is going to be a dog, but I do expect the rest of, Roder and Cole to be able to step in, and Rodrigo to step in and be able to play aptly behind somebody like not just Hutch, but Aleem McNeil and Tyreek Williams taking that next step. So I do expect the Detroit Lions to look more like we're used to, controlling that time of possession, and honestly, opportunistically getting back to turnovers. Yeah. I think a healthier defense and one in which your coordinator honestly has a little bit more help over his shoulders. That's why I believe you'll see your Detroit Lions get back to being able to call their shots as it relates to turnovers. That still sticks in my mind. Dan Campbell, the Houston game, saying, look, we just got to get back to our identity is causing turnovers. I'm like, I know that you want to get turnovers, but how do you just make them happen? But that Lions team, it was almost like it was a part of who they were. They could go out there and do it. 2 turnovers. I want to see them get back to that, and I think they will.
NFC champs plus 850. That's going to put them in the top 5 to win the NFC. How you feeling about that one, Justin?
I think it's about where I would expect them to be.
Seems like it.
I think there
Not the
are
favorite,
teams
but one
that
of the
are
top 5, 6.
clearly better than them.
Yeah.
And that is something that I didn't expect to say 2 years ago with the way that this team was being built. But, you know, you got Seattle, the Rams. I think the Cowboys are going to be pretty good.
Yep.
The Eagles.
Eagles never go away.
It's going to be a battle. And then there's a bunch of other teams that are rising. You know, the Giants look like they're hitting a smooth rebuild with Harbaugh. You know, I haven't even mentioned the Packers or the Bears yet. Like there's a lot of talent in the NFC. It's arguably the deepest it's been in a very long time, and not just how deep the NFC North is. A lot of divisions are deep, and so we're gonna see some very great football this year. I'm not ready to say that the Lions are a top 5. Well, you could say 5, but top 4 Super Bowl favorite in the NFC.
Super Bowl 60. You said Super Bowl, so I'm going to say it. They've got them ranked number 11 at plus 1,700. Now, I'd love to pitch that to Kool-Aid, but we could call him Kool-Aid and cornbread around here because he loves our teams.
I ain't got no problem with that. I don't even. I wear that badge proudly.
And I'm not mad at you for doing that. Too high or too low at number 11 in the league that they like to be able to be the number 60th Super Bowl champion.
So they got the Detroit Lions number 11.
Yep, that's where they sit, about 10, 11. Too high, too low, or right there.
I have to. Oh goodness gracious.
I do think it's a little too low. Personally,
You mean like they should be higher on the list?
I believe it's. Yeah, go ahead.
Or they're not.
They should be at like 8.
I agree.
I think 11 is a little too low. I feel like as much as I'm trying to be a realist, there aren't 10 teams better than the Lions.
So what you're saying is if you went to Caesars Sportsbook, use that WSN,
make some money,
1,000, you could maybe get your bet back if you lost, but you're probably going to get your biggest gain there because they're a little lower than they should be. Yeah.
See, I think that there is value there because of the fact that I do think that they're definitely going to make the playoffs and are probably win a playoff game. And at that point, there's no way that their odds are going to be any lower than plus 500 at that point after they've won a playoff game, possibly 2 playoff games, because they could win wild card round and divisional round if they end up playing in both rounds. And at that point, you have a great opportunity to hedge your cash out. And I'm not usually a hedge guy. I'm a ride it out type of guy. So
I'm an emotional hedge guy. Playoffs to make the playoffs negative 215. I think we are all on board with that one.
And with the definitely. And with that 10 to 11, like that's where I was kind of getting tripped up. Like I believe that they're better than that, top 10 for sure. But I can understand where national media or even where the betting lines would lie because Detroit is a place who, when we're hot, everybody loves to be on the job. But as soon as they believe that we're falling off, you see people quickly try to throw us to the wolves. And so when I look at it and I hear that 10 to 11, that to me says, okay, yeah, you can't completely disrespect the Lions, but how many people outside of Detroit really look at the Detroit Lions and say, you know what, of course they're going to be back to business as usual. And I think that's why we see it that way. How many people are actually going to go and say, you know what, yeah, I think the Detroit Lions actually are a good bet to go and surprise or win that division for sure because you have a lot of people who are still talking about Jordan Love and the Packers like there's something over the Lions. You got people who are going to talk about, rightfully so, Catfish and the Bears. You're going to have that, man. And then the Vikings going
and making me happy.
Then I'm trying, Anson. And then the Vikings going and adding, a quarterback. Like the last time they did this with Sam Darnold, it did worry me when Wu was on. I told the guys, I think that our biggest threat in the NFC is going to be the Vikings. And I do pose that question to you as well. That was in this one. I don't know quite if they're going to be our biggest threat, but I know they're going to be serious.
I know they're going to finish over the Chicago Catfish. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Who is the biggest threat to you in the North?
I've said it, I think we said it last week. I really like Minnesota. I thought that they were a very good team last year. Realistically, in the last 3 or 4 years, I think that they've won, 14 games and 13 games, 2 of those years. And only 1 of the last 4 years have they had consistent quarterback play. That guy also went on to win a Super Bowl. So you bring in little Kyler and, a guy that the Lions have a real hard time. Little Kyler, LIL. No, listen, he's small, but he's quick, and that guy can continue plays, and that has been our Achilles heel. So the fact that we've got, more on the other end there, it should help us, but that's a problem for us at this point.
Yeah.
Their defense is a problem still, and they have playmakers all over the place. Oh, and didn't they just sign Juwan Jennings? That's our weakness right now, as far as I know.
By the way,
secondary.
Kyler Murray's my height.
Yeah,
No, you're taller than him.
I think you are. I think you got an inch on him, dog.
I mean, according to
Listen,
his
when you-
ESPN profile,
Justin, when
he's
you add in
5'10",
when you
but I
add in the
cannot
aura,
believe that.
look, when you add in the aura, Justin,
you are way bigger.
You tower over
yes,
him.
This
okay?
is true. This is true.
And
Listen,
you know what? Before you go to the next one, this just got me thinking. Especially, you're the elite heckler, the elite one. We might need you this Lions season to come up with an elite heckle and reveal it on the show every single week, bro.
Or Tom Gores can just get me a fucking seat close to the fucking floor, and I can be worth 2 points every damn night, like I was for 20 years.
But I need this because
Tom Gores, I'm talking to you.
Look, the peasant stuff has been top tier.
It
The
is
catfish
top tier.
stuff is top tier. I
It's
want
also
it.
top
For my
tier.
Lions season, I want to see it. I want to see what's the billboard, what's the sign you're taking in.
Speaking of billboards,
those are epic.
Has
What?
anybody seen?
That's what I'm
Go to our
saying.
Instagram, guys. Check out Woodward Sports on IG. We're going to head to a break here. So while we're at the break, go check our Instagram. We put up 2 crushing billboards up in Metro Detroit. We're going to take that break and pay some bills. So when we come back, we'll be talking more hoops. We're going to get to your super chats. Don't worry, Dante. We're still going to do your Swisher brick. Get your super chats in.
Oh,
they
he sent
will.
one in.
Yeah, he did.
Ooh,
And
shout out
those will
Dante.
go towards that jersey, the Dominican Sue jersey on Friday. And, of course, we'll read them for you now. Justin, who you got for us, bud?
We got Doc.
We got to hear from Dr. Pierce and Buddies.
Hey, shout out to Dr. Pierce. He is the injury sports insider here at Woodward Sports. And look, not just his expertise on sports medicine, not just his expertise as being a rock doc, as the official doctor for Live Nation concerts here in Michigan, but he also understands and gets to everyday people as well. He's been doing this for a long time as the premier specialist for back in spine, back, joints, anything you can think of, nerves, all of that, regenerative medicine, and being able to help you out without having to go underneath the knife. The doc is pretty good at this, and his staff over at Michigan Sports and Spine, so make sure you tap in with him. Scan that QR code or give him a call, 248-426-9944. Braylon Edwards is not lying. D-Mac is not lying when they talk about who the doc is and what his team has been able to do. So tap in with them. If you think you got a pain, if you got something that you need to ask the doc about, definitely hit him up, man. Michigan Sports and Spine.
Doc's been doing it for a long time. But not as long as Buddies. He wasn't even alive that long. I'm talking about 80 years, 1946. Somebody over at Buddies grabbed an auto dish, threw some pizza in it, and the best pizza on earth was born, Detroit-style deep dish. In fact, that original location at 6th and Conant still exists, as well as many others around Metro Detroit. See that code above my head there? Woodward 20. Use that when you head over to buddiespizza.com. You get your 20% off your next order. Also works for their catering. So if you're putting together a little Pistons party of your own, make sure you tap in and watch us here at Woodward Sports, but also get your buddies on. Find them over at buddiespizza.com, and don't forget that Woodward 20% off.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon. Braylon Edwards and Shaq Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Look, if you're looking for the perfect spot to host your next party or get together, head to Black Rock Bar and Grill, home of the steak on the stone. I can personally talk about it. Quentin Kool-Aid and I, we make sure we get over there at least once a month. Not just because, they support Woodward Sports, but because the food is just great. And I love it every single time. You know what? We got to get the steak and we got to mix it with the pasta. It just is how it goes. Yeah, it is how it goes. And then they got that bang bang chicken or whatever it is, man. The firecracker chicken, whatever it is. It's great. You guys see that there as well. The onion ring stack, the tower over there, and the desserts, the drinks, everything. And it's a vibe. You walk into that place and you feel like you just stepped into a great time. Whether it's a graduation party, a baby shower, rehearsal dinner, or your next big watch party, Black Rock has the food, drinks, atmosphere to make it unforgettable. And the best part, there's truly something for everyone. Book your next event today at Black Rock and Grill, Bar and Grill, and find a location near you at blackrockrestaurants.com.
Hey, we got you set up earlier with your title agent. Now we're setting you up with your lender. We're talking Supreme Lending. My man Chad and Chris joined the Woodward team, and I'm so excited about it. I used to write mortgages myself. I know that refinancing or buying a home, that's one of the biggest decisions in your lifetime, and you want guys that know what they're doing. But even more importantly, you want to start the process right now. Don't wait until it's real close to it, right when you're about to move or about to really need the refi. If you hit Chris and Chad up today, they will walk you through the process so that they can improve your profile as a borrower. What does that mean? It means a better interest rate. It means a zero down payment plan that's available through Supreme Lending. And if you go through us and mention Woodward Sport, it means up to $500 off of your appraisal. So give them a call. You can reach Chad at 248-379-5214, or you can reach Chris at 720-508-0621. They are here for you. They are Supreme Lending.
Before y'all get rocking and rolling again there, I just want to bookend y'all's Lions conversation there. Shout out to RJ Graham 6236.
Shout out.
Black and blue division never goes away.
That's true, man. That's true. And
That's the goal.
It's really cool that, it sucks, but it's also cool that the Lions, when they're great, all the other teams are great, because that's what I remember for the most part. Anytime the Lions were good, the whole division was good, but you're going to get a battle between those guys all the time. Let me get back into this super chat real quick before we turn it back into hoops chat here. Middle-aged sneaker chick popping in there. One of my favorite supporters. Shout out as this loads up here.
Shout out to her. I remember being at the Pistons game. She was, I believe, for her birthday, time, and we were walking around. We had just seen Braylon and such. I had introduced Eric from Clutch Points, and we were walking back on the concourse floor, right on kind of like right behind the courtside seats, and we just hear, Kool-Aid, Woodward. I turn around.
I heard she's got great energy.
It was her like, what up?
Did she have dope kicks on too?
Dope kicks on, man.
Oh, I had a girl.
I think she had on the birthday banner as well. So shout out to her, man.
Yeah, she's great. So she says for $5, which you're going to get 2 slots on that wheel for Fridays, so make sure you're back then. I know you guys said not starting JD would be a detriment to his confidence, but is it possible that it might motivate him to get his ISHT? I love how she must be a mom or something. She's like, I'm not going to spell it. To get his shit together. I'll say it for you, middle-aged. Listen, to me, at 22, when you're on the precipice of a major contract, on the heels of a love triangle series, just a series before, I do think that it's something that can mess with him, because we've already seen that his head is open to messing with. We saw Wendell Carter peel it back and get inside there. And after the first 2 games, he was holding his own, but now Jared Allen, he's up in there. Yeah. So for me, Jalen is a guy that I want to keep him in that starting lineup. If he's going to get his shit together, he's got to do it on the floor, not from the bench. Yeah. She loves me on payday. Does LeVert see more minutes than Jenkins tonight, considering the big game he just came off of? And we need Duncan to go for 5+ threes tonight. I'm going to let you field this one, but I'm going to give you a bet. Look up Caesar Sportsbook. 10+, take the over on whatever they're asking for Dunk, and take the over on threes. Parlay those 2. Thank me tomorrow. Where are you at with the minutes between Jenkins, and Karras?
You know what? That's an interesting question because if you ask this in the regular season, you get a completely different answer.
Yeah.
But right now, it's the
For you
playoffs for me.
especially.
Even. But it's the playoffs right now, and you know what? You've seen that Karras LeVert just has a different look to him. He looks like a player who understands
Playoff
this
LeVert.
type of basketball.
Because he's been there.
Oh, yeah. You could see him. Like, the moment he just checked in, and me, part of me is like, why is he walking like that?
You know how I know
Why
he's
is
been
he
there?
checked in like, I'm like, what is he about to do? And then he went off.
There was a woman in the first row wearing a LeVert Cavaliers jersey.
Whoa. But my man, you know what? Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what it is, man? Look, because sometimes when the honey buns are in a city in which you came up and probably made a name for yourself, you walk a little bit different.
That's right.
And so where one series, it might have gotten in one of our players' heads for a negative, we got Karras LeVert going out there hooping like they're right in the front row looking at him.
And they are.
And you know what? That's what I like to see from him. And I think this. We've seen them use Karras LeVert throughout the season to try and settle things from a backup facilitation position. And that's where I do believe in these playoffs where the Pistons have had a hard time finding that consistently, you have to be able to try what Karras LeVert is. And I do believe this. He understands like the little tips, the little tricks. He kind of plays with a savvy. Whether the skill set is exactly where we want it to be, there were some times there where Karras LeVert in this league made a name for himself, and he stuck around the song because of things that we saw him do in that last game. He used to be more consistent, and I do believe, though, this. You give him some minutes. We talk about that confidence that we want to see in some of the other players. Karras already has it. And I think you want dogs that understand how to run with that confidence earlier in this game and to play a lot longer. I really do.
And you know, to all of your points, what we've seen from JB handling of Karras, even when he looks good, he still only gets a certain amount of minutes.
Yep.
So one thing I will tip my hat towards JB in this last game was he went with the hot hand. And that's something we've been begging for. My answer to this one is the same answer I have for the Duren Paul Reed answer. You just see how it goes. If Danis is out there playing like he did in 1 and 2, he's going to get more minutes. Yeah. If it's LeVert, he's going to get more minutes. Same thing. So let's get into Dante's Swisher Brick here, and then we'll continue on with some more hoop stuff. Dante, Swisher Brick, this slow offensive play style is hurting the Pistons and should go back to their bread and butter in transition play. What say you, Kool-Aid?
I mean, that's a swish. They talked about this for 2 years in a row. The Detroit Pistons PR even made graphics about this where they talk about the Detroit Pistons being the number one team in transition. The Detroit Pistons being one of those teams who they value, taking turnovers and turning those into points. Not just taking away opportunities for the other team to score, but being able to go out there, and this was a big part of it. This is why I love the fact that during the regular season, you guys remember the post-game shows that we would do. Shout out to Platty as well as the watch parties with Hefe and some of the others who would help with Platty and I up on the desk, and KG would stop by sometimes. We went through those box scores. Why? Because it's important to follow the trends and how your team identity is made up. And one of those things, points off turnovers and fast break points, the Pistons routinely dominated. You could count on a mix between those two stats of at least 30, 35 points a night. That's a third of your points every single night. That's easy basketball. And that's getting other people opportunity to get their confidence up. That's getting other people opportunity to see their name in the stat column with a bucket. That's getting other people opportunity to feel like they don't have to go out and hunt so much for their own because, like J.B. Bickerstaff has preached for a long time, and this is where I think it's waned a little bit in these playoffs, you can all be stars in your own lane. This is where you start seeing Duren press a little bit more about what he's doing or not doing on offense, but then he's not dominating the paint anymore like he had grown into during this season, man. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling about it with these Detroit Pistons, man.
It's a big swish for me. Love the question, Dante.
It's a good one.
I look at what we did in this offseason. Trajan kind of started it last year, bringing in Timmy and Beasley. But what you have on this team right now that he brought in through free agency are guys that have been all over the league that have minutes in the playoffs.
Yep.
I'd like to see more Javonte Green.
Yes.
I'd like to see more Javonte Green in this. I thought that he, much to your point about what you said about Karras, where he can kind of come in and settle things down, drop a couple threes for you.
He'll cut.
Oh, yes.
He'll move. Ball move, yes.
6 minutes, you can't find your game, bro. Especially when you've been averaging double digits throughout the season.
True.
And I get trimming back your roster and your plays when you're in the finals or in the playoffs. But at this point, when you have as many starters playing as average or even dare I say it, subpar, you got to dig into your bench. And I look at these last 2 games in Cleveland, and like all of our starters, sans Asar, are running almost too heavy a minutes. And so I want to segue into this. I watched something. I really couldn't keep my eyes off of Cade in the second half. He does so much offensively. And one-on-one defensively, he's amazing. But in that game, he looked lethargic in the offensive and defensive rebounding game and the off-ball defensive game. There was just times where he was standing around. I don't want to bring it back to the lung thing because we've seen him put the games up that he's had, but I already know the answer to this. It's a yes. Kool-Aid, is he carrying way too much weight?
Definitely. One of the questions that I asked of JB Bickerstaff, I think it was coming into the season, it was about, are you guys going to consider lowering the really, really, really high usage rate of 1K Cunningham? And at the time, he was like, kind of laughed it off. Like, why would you take the ball out of or reduce that? Now, what have we seen them actually do now? It took 2 years. It took until this playoffs, but now you're seeing a little bit more of Cade Cunningham off the ball.
And I love it.
I absolutely love this stuff, man. I absolutely love it. And you know what? For JB Bickerstaff, I think that there's a lot of ebbs and flows that he's going to have to, from an adjustment standpoint, he's going to have to get under control. I think one of those things is that ebb and flow in terms of how do you play Cade Cunningham in these games to be able to make sure that he's just not, when he is off ball, that he's not just completely out of the offense, because there are whole possessions where I'm sitting and I'm like, can Cade Cunningham touch the ball? Or he'll get the first touch, and if they wind up getting a second possession, like offensive rebound, Cade is just kind of in the corner or just kind of diagonal from the three-point line from the basket, not really doing anything. You know, and so I'm hoping that as a whole, this Pistons team is looking to Cade Cunningham in addition to there being a little bit more action for this squad. I really do, man.
I got a hard question for everybody. We're going to take a short break, but I want to tease it and put it out there. We got one more, don't we?
No.
No? Okay. Well, we're just going to stick around then. And I'm going to ask you a really hard question, guys. If the Pistons lose in 7, is this a successful season after a 60-win regular season? Chat, I want to hear from you guys. Got a little bit of time. We are just short of our like goal, so please smash that like button.
Smash it.
Keep those super chats coming in.
Treat it nice.
We will read you, and then, of course, we're going to put you on that wheel for Friday so you can take home that Ndamukong Suh. But what say
Lick your finger first, then hit it.
Is it a success or a failure? Because I remember when we were mired in a 3-1 deficit in round 1, people were saying if we could just get to the 7th game of the second series, second round, we'd be happy. Now as we sit tied 2-2, would you be okay with that? I mean, I know you wouldn't be okay with it. Let me rewind that. Is it a successful season for the Pistons if they can't get out of this series, but make it 7?
I'm going to stay consistent. I've consistently said that this Detroit Pistons team, 60 wins, number 1 seed, they've made the championship their goal. I believe they would be disappointed if they didn't make it out of the series, especially when you consider the extra added layers of the kind of rumored and somewhat reported bad blood between the Cavaliers and JB Bickerstaff. And so from that perspective, you know, obviously the added aspect, yeah, that would be a failure to me. But from the aspect of everything they set themselves up to be this season, and to have a player who you consider to be MVP caliber, to have another player in Jalen Duren who you consider to be that other all-star, who wasn't at All-Star Weekend. See, there's a couple guys over there with the Cavaliers who could have probably been there, but they weren't because the Pistons guys were there. So who are you? And that's where I look at this Cavaliers team who has, what have we called them when they flamed out with the top seeds? Disappointing. And so for your Detroit Pistons, I got to levy and be consistent the same type of kind of view for this Pistons squad, even if they battle. There's going to be things I'm saying, you know what, cool, there's things to build on, there's some things to like, but I will have to say that it is a failure. Step in the right direction, but a failure. You won a series this year, but yeah.
Justin, same question.
I was uploading the clips, I can't lie. I was not.
It's okay. If the Pistons make it to Game 7 but lose, is it a successful season?
It's
for you?
not.
It's not.
It's not. You can't be the number 1 seed and not even make the conference finals. It's the standard that is set. I mean, a lot of number 1 seeds, you got to make the finals.
Hey.
We're not ready for that.
We laugh at them when they don't.
And that expectation, because that's how it used to be back in your glory days, what you guys remember. Now, the expectation is to make a conference final.
Well.
And I think that was set, that precedent was set by this organization when they didn't go out and make a major addition at the trade deadline.
He's speaking now, y'all.
And so right now, I think they have to make a conference final, and it will be disappointing if they don't. And you'll be able to look back on the fact that your second star failed you, essentially, and you didn't do anything to help Cade Cunningham with a bucket getter to take some pressure off him offensively. And you got guys like Stick trying to rage bait like your boy Spenny in the text chain about Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, my MVP.
I truly wish the fans at home could just be a fly on the wall for the Woodward chat. It is really fun and massively toxic, I got to say. One of the least toxic humans I know, Sweet Potato Cam. Is this a success or a failure if they go to 7 games in round 2 but lose?
In my opinion, it is a failure. We were not only the number 1 team seed in the East, virtually the entire season, mind you.
Yeah, poll. Wide.
Yep. I understand that the playoffs is a completely different game, but I'm going to stand firm. We've been saying this for months on the Braylon Show. If they don't make an appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's a failure. That's what we expect. These guys are dogs. Where did the dog go, though?
Yeah. All right, we got a couple super chats in. Shout out Michael Wary. He weighed in with $5. He says, finals or bust. We're still learning, but we're good enough to make the finals if we play consistent ball.
Yes.
Period.
True. Yes.
True. Sneaker Chick dropping 5 as well. She'll say it was productive but not successful. But I ain't claiming that.
Yeah,
I need
get
the
that.
Eastern Conference Final. Detroit basketball.
That's a great statement. I think that one summarizes exactly
I speak
how
for the
I
fan
feel.
base. What can I say?
Yeah.
Hey, there he is. I'll give you my answer. I would have said for the longest time, hell yeah, Mr. Success. But the way
You're surprising me today,
But the
Anson.
way that this thing is boiling down,
Talk to me.
this is a winnable series. And if you look back at this series and you dump it, it's just one that you're not going to be able to get over. And it's gonna linger until next year. You're not going to get the respect that you should be getting. And you don't get the peasants. All right? We've all wanted one thing for a year.
Get back.
I've heard Platty be like, oh, we should be the number 2 so we can play them in the second round and stuff like that. No. We're the number 1.
Control your
60-win
destiny.
team.
Make it happen.
Are we a year early? Yes. So that'll segue into my next question, which actually you guys touched on a little bit. Does Trajan get a free pass if they fail to make the Eastern Conference Finals?
The offseason will dictate that for me.
No. No. Does he get a free pass the moment the Pistons allegedly lose Game 7?
Yeah,
so if that happens, are you giving him a free pass for the 25, 26, 60 game win season?
Only because, yes, I will, but only because of what his job actually is from the top. Now, does JB Bickerstaff get that? No, because he's the coach. He controls.
He's the coach of the year.
He's the coach of the year. He controls what's going on that field.
Hardware from him if they lose Game 7?
I'm not, because it is a regular season award, but then it will call into question.
It says coach of the year. It doesn't say coach of the regular season.
But we do know that some people, they say that they allow playoffs to influence their vote, but the votes were already in.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly they say that. But for me, man, it's you know what, JB Bickerstaff, obviously, the narrative has followed him as it relates to who he is in the regular season versus can he get it done in the playoffs. And that matters, man. So, yeah.
Sneaker Chick loves the peasants.
I wanted to ask you ask you that through this series so far. Obviously, if the Pistons make it through, and what you're seeing out of the peasants, are you more or less confident with your Detroit Pistons against the peasants in an Eastern Conference Finals?
My confidence did not change in last year's series. I felt we were the better team. My confidence did not change or inflate when we absolutely dragged the fuck out of them all 3 games this year. pardon my French, but I'm pretty sure Mrs. Edwards is not watching today.
Shout out, Mama, if she is.
But yeah, listen, I know what that team is. They're a team that Philly can't match up with. They're a team that a lot of teams can't match up with. Our wings, like Asar, he had all summer to think about Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
All summer to think about how
if we don't get this matchup.
And that's the thing. Yes, it's a great year. It's a successful year. You won the third most games in franchise history 2 years after you won 14. So to say it's not a success is saying probably some crazy shit. But no, man, not when the peasants, are waiting there. And to be honest with you, man, they just won 4 straight. They're going to come in cold game 1. They're not going to be hitting threes left and right like they did.
That's what I said. I think
and we're going to be coming off with an edge, a little tired. But you know what we have? We have so much more depth than that peasant franchise does. Michael Ware, another $2 super chat. Not a free pass, but he'll get more time to get it. Oh, yeah, he's getting plenty more time. And he's already gone out and said, Kool-Aid, I think you can attest to this, that they're going to make a move this season for that off-ball guy, that compliment, that Robin, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some of the, not just rumors, but reports, is that this is the offseason that the Detroit Pistons are going to have the opportunity to go and make some things really happen to put that score or reduce a lot of that usage on Cade Cunningham. And I look forward to it. I'm hoping it's somebody who does carry a little bit more of that all-star appeal rather than just a player who, is really, really good. And I like Uncle Tobias Harris, but he's one of those really, really good players. I think it's time now to go and dip your toe in the water of all-stars, in the water of can this player
in his the next water step, of Trey Murphy.
That's what I'm going, because I'll say a player who can step into that. I think that's where you're looking at. Trey Murphy, to me, is a guy who I like who he is when he's handled the ball, and this year you saw him take a good step forward in his usage. Not just the usage going up, but the efficiency. He still showed, look, I can handle the responsibility. Now you bring him to a Detroit where he's able to go back to less usage and probably greater efficiency playing alongside of Cade Cunningham, but you get that much better when you're talking about having a player like him be able to handle the ball while Cade's on the court as well as when Cade is on the bench. So I am hoping that they go in a direction like that. I've heard rumors and whispers of names like Tyler Herro being another one that, hey, when you get to the offseason, maybe that's a guy that you look at as it relates to beefing up what you do from behind the arc, and we already know he can put the ball on the deck as well and try and make some things happen. These are players who, even though they have all-star potential, I believe you put them in a situation next to Cade Cunningham, I think you actually make them better because you don't have everything on their shoulders, but then they get to share that with Cade Cunningham, which will in turn make things better for Cade as well.
I'm going to save you for last on this one. We got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to ask a fantasy question here. I'm not talking about fantasy sports. I'm talking about your own fantasy. Justin, you're Trajan Langdon. You got your fantasy glasses on. Who are you going to get?
Are we keeping this clean fantasy-wise?
Bray's not here. I don't care. Get dirty, baby.
Get dirty.
As the Pistons' second option.
Hey, or third, wherever you fit in. What's the best fit?
It would be a second option. I would. Jamal Murray might be interesting.
You're not the first person that's.
Devin
only
Booker?
the second,
obviously.
And to me, when they said it to me, I was like, the more and more I'm hearing it, thinking it.
Oh yeah, I had a kombucha girl reaction. I was like, huh? Oh,
I'm trying to. I'm trying to be realistic. I know that the water's turning a little sour there in Denver, and that may be a factor moving forward.
Oh yeah.
Would you trade Durant for Joker?
I mean, absolutely. That's not even a question. What do you mean?
Let's not go there. Let's not go. I mean, stay on target.
Don't ask me that.
Jaylen Brown.
Oof.
I mean, there's some options out there. I just want someone who can be that second scorer off the bounce, be a shot creator, and I think that Jaylen Brown is the best in a second-hand role. Jamal Murray's best is in a second or third. Devin Booker is best as a second. So I think any of them next to Cade Cunningham would be a match made in heaven.
You got a name for us? Sweet Potato, who's your fantasy dude?
I sure do, A-Dub, and shout out to your Spartans there. I'm giving my fantasy selection, you already know, the Black Panther, JJJ.
Oh,
Let's
Triple
go.
J.
I love that.
When you
I love that.
okay, yeah. I wanted him at the deadline last
Right.
year.
Same. So did I. Big presence. Obviously, strong defensive player. Big man can also stretch that half court there.
Create some
as
room
well.
for Durant.
Thank
That's
you.
for sure. I love that one.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going.
I'm loving that one. Trey Murphy, guys. I've been saying it a lot.
Ooh-wee.
He's on my fantasy team this year. Excellent defender, very good rebounder, can score at the rim, in the mid-range, can put the ball on the floor, got a deep bag, and he's money from three, man. I think he would be the perfect fit, but I'm greedy. I want Drew Holiday, too.
You might be able to do both.
From the Kalamazoo Trailblazers. How about you, Kool-Aid?
Fantasyland, right? Just absolute fantasy. If I could just boom and
now,
make some
you don't
happen.
get him for free. Remember, you got to give something up, so make it like kind of work.
Oh, this is going to be expensive.
Oh, okay.
I like Trey Murphy. And in a logical world, that's where I think we're going to head if you're the Pistons. Give me Kawhi Leonard, though.
Oh, yeah.
Give me
I love
Kawhi
that.
Leonard if we're talking about Fantasyland. And y'all remember, after the Clippers and the Pistons played, who did you see at the end of the game doing a little...
Oh, yes. I love that.
I love it. Cade and Kawhi. We got Bell out for you, buddy. I like Devin Booker, too. You already know that. But it seems like our good friend Matt Ishbia is going to keep him in Phoenix. So, Kawhi, listen, Bell out can be yours. They just offered you a park down in Clipperville, a little place to plant a few trees. We got a whole nature preserve for you, bro. A whole island that you can come.
Island.
We'll give you the island. You can plant as many trees as you need. Kawhi Leonard is my Fantasyland Detroit Pistons player.
Shout out.
See, I don't mind going over a little bit. I know some people freak out. Shout out Pistol Pete. Miss you,
Overtime,
buddy.
right? We're sports.
We in OT right now. I want to read a couple things out of here. Jordan from MI, he loves the Triple J. Dom K 523, he loves himself some Book. Dom K, Jamal Murray is nice too, but he wants D Book, guys.
Yeah.
Listen, there's also another name in here that I mentioned to you. I believe it was 2 years ago.
John Moran would be sexy too.
And that's from our guy, the legend in the chat, Dante151. He says DeMar DeRozan.
Yes.
I'm
That's
good.
not the way you said that.
He's washed as hell. I'm good.
No, he is not washed as hell. Did you see his numbers this last year?
He's still one of the best ISO players in the
Bro,
league.
I'm telling you.
He's
and
not
he
what he
brings
used to be,
that
Justin.
edge,
I
too.
agree.
And he got a chip in
I'm
Toronto,
not doing
right?
that. I'm not
I don't
doing
mind
that.
that one. Dante,
Talk about a playoff choker.
Dante,
Jesus.
I started the show just to read
Oh, yeah.
that.
Let's go get DeMar DeRozan just to go choke away a playoff series. Yeah, okay. Let's see you next year.
Do you think
if that happens, I'll be all up in your ass, Anson. No pause.
No pause.
That's about to be the new
Fair
thing.
enough, fair enough. I'm going to read one last one, another name that we've
This
heard a
means
lot of.
something to me. No
DM303, CJ McCollum.
That's what I was saying.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Can't be
CJ
mad at that.
McCollum, the type of player he is, man. Big game down the stretch, too. I like that.
All right, Dante, you keeping us on air even longer and longer. You keep dropping these dimes on us. Speaking of dimes, Dame Lillard.
Oh, Mr. Time. Coming back off injury.
I don't love it because what he charged,
Dude, what are we
what it would
talking
cost
about?
to get him.
What are we trying to make this team a retirement home? Guys, let's get someone who's in their prime. Like what are we talking about here?
Jesse Woodward.
Thank you, Justin.
Dropping a name that we all heard at the trade deadline, MPJ.
I was about to say,
Michael
I
Porter
haven't
Jr.
heard MPJ's name yet in this. I've heard a lot of people kind of cool off on him. But MPJ is a guy I'm wondering, does he become that much better when he's here next to a Cade and with this squad? Because right now, with the usage up, it was a player that I didn't quite like. But when he is with other players in a well-rounded team, I think he's one of those good fits for the Pistons. And he can hit the three.
No doubt about it.
At volume.
No doubt about it. Hey, listen, I don't want to talk about this again until June. But, hey, the cat's away. The mice will play. We had an awesome time with you guys. Please smash that like button. You guys hit a lot of goals for us today.
Did we
and
get
the
the like
numbers
goal?
have been strong throughout. We just
Hey,
appreciate you
we
guys.
hit the like goal.
So much action in the chat. Keep that up, guys. We're going to have Cam pick some more of the non-super chats out in the future to read those. And, of course, we're going to read the super chats. We appreciate you guys. On behalf of his return, Mr. South African Satawa, Mr. Sweet Potato Cam, And this guy right here, the best Pistons coverage in the state.
Appreciate you.
It was great time with you, Kool-Aid.
This was awesome.
It was.
This was awesome, man. Hey, up here on the desk at the new studio, filling in for our brother, Braylon Edwards. Bro,
We'll be back tomorrow.
Get that great content. We cannot wait to have you back in the studio.
Be
but
very cool stuff tomorrow.
Feels awesome, man.
B-Lad will be back as well. I'm Anson. We appreciate you. We're out.
Let's go Pistons!
That's all the Detroit Pistons coverage on Woodward Pistons on YouTube. Head over and subscribe now for in-depth Pistons coverage, player interviews, roundtables, and live watch parties. The bad boys of Detroit media are here. Woodward Sports.